steps up again.
When we were talking off air, Dave, one of the things that I said, one of the criteria that I look for when we come into fight, especially.
It's very, it was like deja vu coming in this morning, same rooms, sort of, same temperature, a little bit of a wind blowing, and I thought, oh God, please don't let it happen again. So, but the under-19s were good. The Ferntree Gully are a very good under-19s footy side, so we're brave there, and what are we, 5 goals up three-quarter time here, so anyway, we're going all right.
Is it almost a case of, we spoke to Towdy about the blokes she got in on the field, the guys that came over from Airport West, and also the 2 experienced heads you got in, and Frad and Cullen. Was it almost preparing the club on field as much as off field, that not only were you ready to win a flag in Division 4, but you were ready to play Division 3 footy once again next year?
Oh, absolutely. Our plans in the off-season started, on this dreadful day last year when Park Orchards knocked us off, and I said to Towdy, what do we need, mate? And we knew we needed midfielders, we needed pace. That's what cost us last year. So we picked up, the Airport West boys. I feel sorry for those. We don't actually call them by their names. We just call them the Airport West boys. And we needed experience. We needed Chubbs. We needed Frowdy up forward. And I think the guy that has got no credit for us this year has been Daniel Tuiutuza at centre half back. He's the difference for us this year. Of us being nervous when the ball goes to the back line, or having some confidence. And you look at the record or the stats, we've had the least kicked against us this year by a mile. So our back line, and they've been together the whole year. But that's what we identified, and we identified, not just on the field for those experienced blokes, but it's off the field as well going forward in coaching roles when their times comes.
The scary thing, you mentioned the older heads at the club, but the scary thing I think for opposition clubs in the coming years will be the younger kids. And one of the guys that really took my eye when we were out at Warrandyte Reserve earlier on in the year was James Appleby. We gave him best on ground that day. Unfortunately, not playing today, but he's one of those blokes who can just turn a game off his own boot.
Oh, exactly. And, we talk about our under-19s today. Now, junior can be playing under-19s. We've got young Chris Tout playing today, and Ben Richardson playing today, who are all under-19s players. And a part of what I said to Towdy at the start of the year, I just said I want to start blooding a few of these under-19s players straight away, because we've brought in a couple of old fellas, but we need the youth coming through for the future. But junior was, I was just having a laugh with Matty Bishop before, because I rang before the Forest Hill game when we played them, and I said, mate, one of our boys has hurt his calf in the warm-up. What can happen? Oh, geez, all right. No, you're allowed to bring someone else in. Turned out he fractured his leg, so well done, Junior. So he actually was a bit like Francis Burke, mate. He was playing with a broken leg for a game, so but he's good.
Look, I've noticed a bit of a difference in the club this year to last year, and I know last year we talk about the finals and what happened and all that sort of stuff. I've noticed a bit of a calmness, actually. I think that there's a real purpose with the way the group's gone about what they've done, and it's not about redemption and anything like that. It's about the fact that now you have a group that is good enough when they play the right football to win games of football, and I think Towdy's been able to get that instilled into the group. I found off-field that seems to be the same way you've gone about things. Is that what you've deliberately done within the club?
Yeah, look, we've just brought right people in that don't panic, and I think it's a great observation, because you've got to bring the experience, on the field, with the guys that we've mentioned, but we all know what we've got to do, and we haven't spoken about redemption, revenge, or any of those words. We've just gone about our business, and we know what it takes to win, because we learnt so much from last year. Unfortunately, in footy, in life, in business, whatever, you've got to learn from your mistakes, and that's what we've done. We've actually, we sat down and we reviewed what we needed, and there's a calmness about us, but don't worry, deep down we're still shitting ourselves.
That mightn't be a bad thing,
Yeah.
It's probably better to be nervous than it is overconfident, I reckon.
Oh, absolutely, and I rang Towdy this morning at about 7:30, and I said, Jesus, I said, I've had about 4 hours sleep. I'm nervous. He goes, all right, just don't show it. I said, all right, I'll just...
I bet you hadn't had much sleep either.
I said, I'll just start in the grandstand and say nothing. So, and you know what? Do you know what I love about these games right now? Is that and you guys will be coming up here, the first 15 minutes of the scene is going to be red hot.
Yeah.
And any finals game is won, either side that settles first. And what we learnt last year is that we probably just, got ahead of ourselves. When we were playing well, we just probably played like cowboys, especially against Park Orchards. We know today, first 15 minutes are going to come really hard at us. We just got to settle, just play to our games, play to our structures, and make sure I'm in control up in the grandstand here.
You'll be right. Oh,
Sorry, Brash, caught you off guard.
yeah, you did actually. Off field, you must be really happy with the stability of the club. You've had 2 good years, all right, you didn't win the final, but, you know, as they say, you know, you've got to have stability in the positions of the club that count the most. You're happy with the structure that you've got set in and in place for the future?
Yeah, look, we've got a really a good committed off-field committee, and obviously our rooms have generated a great bit of interest and a great revenue stream for us off the field. Look, we haven't lost a game at home for 2 years, which is a great help because the local community really comes down and supports us. So you
That's what I was going to say. How has the community, since that new club rooms, how have they embraced that?
Yeah, it's been. I mean, obviously you guys have been out there. It's a great viewing area, but it's just clean. It's comfortable. We've gone away from the traditional, you know, boys club, footy club, just drinking cans, and it's really that local community. You
got to get the women involved, mate.
And I was going to say the chicks come down as well, which is great. So you got to have it. You got to turn these into local community clubs rather than just boys footy clubs, and it's hard. It's really hard. I've had many discussions with you know, with Phil and Graham from the Eastern Footy League about how competitive it is out here. But we're lucky in Warrandyte because with that 10 kilometres out, we're by ourselves, and we've got a great junior club, and you know, hopefully players stick around, you know, and want to play senior football. But to do that, we've got to get up higher divisions at the end of the day. That's you know, if you're an 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid, you want to be playing at the best possible standard. So that's what we've got to do.
Now, we've talked to death about the lessons learned from last season. What about the lessons learned from the home and away season this year? What have you taken off the field that you can now take into the final series from 2015?
Look, yeah, great question. I think, all right, without pretending I'm a frustrated coach here, but we've actually learned who the opposition are probably better.
Okay.
You know, last year was our first time in 4th division, so we actually didn't know who we're actually playing against, and we now know the opposition better, and I think we mentioned before that level of calmness. I think there's no. Of course, we want to get out of 4th division, but I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves last year to try and do it straight away, and I think it just didn't work. We were too uptight and nervous and just so focused. Whereas this year, you know, stick to what you're good at. And you know, and I think it's taken a while. Look, on the top of my head, I reckon we've got 18 new blokes playing today that wouldn't have played 3 years ago. So if you look at that, it takes a year to actually learn where everyone plays and what they're good at. So I think we've had 18 rounds to work that out. We're at pretty much full strength today, except for obviously James Appleby not playing, and Troy Ratcliffe got a broken hand, but we're pretty much at full strength. So
no excuses.
From my point of view, there's absolutely no excuses.
I think probably you could sum it up by saying that this year it's about respect.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's been also a key. And I was speaking to Towdy last week, you know, he said, you know, where he played against us, and he said, you know what, we've still had to do our homework. We've still had to sit down and look at the 6 or 8 blokes that we've got to be aware of. So you're right, when you're down in a division you haven't been in before, sometimes the level of homework's not done, and it's not disrespecting, but it's not respecting to the level that you should.
Absolutely.
And I think that's happened this year, and so that your preparations got better, your players have got better, and I think overall the football is there's the way that the football is being played at the moment by the club, there is a real clarity with the way that they play it. So I think that'll hold you in good stead, I would imagine, during the final series.
I think you're right, and it's funny that underestimating your opponents. We refer back to our 3 Airport West boys that have come from, you know, Premier Division in a very strong league. They came down, just thought, how easy is this going to be? And I reckon after 3 games, I went, wow, this is 4th division.
Yeah.
He goes, this is 2nd division in the Essendon League, you know, so we've got to be really proud of what the Eastern Footy League does, because I think we all underestimate. I know we hate saying we're in 4th division, but it's a bloody good competition, and you're right. And we thought probably last year just coming in the finals, 2 games clear on top, this will be you know, not an arrogance, but we just thought we'll win this, and we underestimated it. So yeah, I think you're dead right. It's bloody good football. It is really good football. The skills are amazing because the grounds are great. You know, so fingers crossed it all works out.
Well, we wish you all the best of luck. It looks like you're going to have at least one side there on the big day. The twos are up at the moment, 10-5-65 to Forest Hill, 4-5-29. So all the best of luck, and hopefully you can see 3 teams in red and white on grand final day.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys. Happy calling.
All the best of luck. Stephen Bell, the president of the Warrandyte Football Club. And what I like about Warrandyte at the moment, both from Towdy and also from Stephen Bell, is there's a no-holds-bar approach. We know we stuffed up last year, and the focus is to win today and win in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, look, there's a real
which I mean there should be, but
but there's a real honesty, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's a real honesty about the group, and sometimes that's one of the hardest things to do, is to be brutally honest about your performance, about where you've come from, what you've done, but also, that's a freshness within the group, and I'm really impressed with the way that they've gone about that, and I think you're seeing a different Warrandyte this year than what you did last year, and so really the demons of last year really shouldn't have any impact on what happens this year, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree, Davo. I mean, it's one of those things that, we've talked about the lessons learned, but, they just, as I said, they seem more calm. They've got that sort of refreshed attitude about it, and, they're just simmering at the point in time, and I think it should all go right for them today, and then they give themselves the ultimate chance. Exactly right. That starts from 2 o'clock this afternoon, just over half an hour's time before the 2 senior sides run out for what should be a cracking game out here at Walker Park between Warrandyte and Forest Hill. We'll take a break on the A1 Airport parking warm-up. Tell you what, I could have worded that a lot better because it's a nice tongue twister. But we thank them for their support. We'll head back to Aaron in the studio. We'll clear some sponsor messages. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man.
Can you smell it?
Smell what?
It's my favourite smell in the world.
Oh,
Footy season.
yeah, man, like you can smell the grass at the Mighty G.
Yeah, and you know what else I can smell? The hot marshmallow chocolate at Pancake Parlour.
They're like my favourite smells ever. Like first you head to the G and smell the grass, and then after you've cheered your guts out, head straight to Pancake Parlour and warm up with a delicious hot marshmallow chocolate.
Oh, it's made with pure Belgian chocolate. Seriously decadent.
Oh, Pancake Parlour, open 24 hours, High Point, Malvern and Doncaster East.
Lovely.
Program sponsor.
EFL mobile web app. Own a smartphone and love the EFL? Then the EFL mobile web app is a must for you. Go to m.efl.org.au to access fixtures, results and ladders for all EFL grades. You can also receive live around-the-ground scores every Saturday afternoon from the palm of your hand and contribute to the mighty EFL forum while you're online. Download the EFL mobile web app to go live and local for your footy, right from the palm of your hand.
Good news, boys. It's 20% off to travel on Eastlink on weekends and public holidays with a car tax. So, with the money you'll save, you'll have enough.
Enough for what, Coach?
My birthday present next week, and I have my eye on some sparkly gold footy boots with some pandas on them.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
In sparkly boots.
Program sponsor.
For the best EFL rap on radio, don't miss EFL Sunday, thanks to Crocs Play Centres. From 10 till 2 every Sunday morning, the EFL Media Team bring you all the final scores, goal kickers, best players and ladders following a big round of EFL footy. The gang talk to winning coaches, players and special guests to bring you the final scores from all the seniors, reserves and under-19 matches. EFL Sunday, going live and local for your footy from 10 every Sunday morning on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Jenny's family and friends turned up in their 60s gear. They wore paisley shirts and ties, peace chains and love beads, danced to Janis Joplin, The Who, Creedence. It was like being at Woodstock. It was exactly how Jenny wanted her send-off to be.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, there are no rules. Our motto is, if it's legal, it's possible. So if you'd like to relive the past a little, Tobin Brothers Funerals will help you do it. Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Love it local and keep your radio dial locked on 98.1 Radio Eastern. EFL Gameday kicks off at 1 every Saturday as the EFL Media Team bring you all the EFL Gameday action, thanks to the Pancake Parlour. On Sunday, tune in from 10 for Crocs Play Centre's EFL Sunday for a complete review of all the senior EFL matches. Wednesday night from 6, tune in to The Huddle with Paul Semasides, Aaron Kirkby-Rodia and Will Taylor for a lighter look at the EFL. Love it local this season on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Now it's time to go local for your footy. This is EFL.
plenty of great games. Division 1's not all that flash, but Division 2 could throw up possibly anything in the final round of season 2015. We'll start in Division 1. Blackburn take on Roval out at Moreton Park in Blackburn. The Panthers bring in Otten, Pell, Griffiths and Vazari. Out goes Windle, while Roval bring in Ellery, Hicks, Willoughby, Kernick and Burns. Out goes McDonald and Matty Davey.
Well, with not much to play for, really, Roval will just be hoping to maintain their momentum, Dyson, heading into their big final next Sunday against Vermont. But Blackburn, on the other hand, they'll want to finish the season off on a high note and probably be the best of the rest.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's exactly the way it'll probably pan out as well. I think Roval have done very well this year. I mean, maybe it's the way to draw, maybe it's along that line, but they've certainly had a good year, and playing a final's a great reward for them. Blackburn, well, they've just been that one key position player short the whole year, haven't they, really?
Yep. Yeah, their season was done and dusted, basically, because they couldn't get their best side on the park due to injury early on.
Yeah, it was done before it, almost before it started.
Yeah.
They probably, I think they had 6 or 7 key injuries going into
round
one.
Fraser and McCauley and Fagan. You can't win at this level if you don't have your best 6 on the ground.
Yeah.
It's a shame. They're a quality club, and Max Hutton's a good in as well. But yeah, really impressed with Roval, and yeah, they just need to win just to gain momentum going to the final series. So I think they'll get the points.
East Ringwood played their grand final last week, and did they play it well? Came to play in that final term, got up by 11 points. They'll play Division 1 football in season 2016. They take on Montrose, who were also vying for that best of the rest tag as well. In comes Chris Channing, Delaney, Hoare and Henderson. Out goes Purcell, Vogels and Russell. While for Montrose, Goodman, Burt, Marshall, Bedows and McInerney come in, while Fielding and McManus go out.
Yeah, really, I'm going to tip the upset here. I think East Ringwood staying up last week is really give them that's really give the club a great fillip. Marcus Bazaglo, I thought, coached very well last week. He seemed to have been able to free the shackles. Once again, a bit of a worry for them, Dyson. Luke Vogels constantly gets injured, so they might have to look at him. But Montrose, disappointing for mine.
Went down with a hammy last week?
Yeah, he did. Right? Montrose, for mine, they've been disappointing. I know they've had the weighted draw really against them this year, but they've had their chances, to win games when they should have, and they've lost. I think East Ringwood at home are a definite chance today.
Yeah, I agree. I've been really disappointed with Montrose. I thought Montrose would be a lot better than what they have been this year. They've really stagnated in a lot of areas. We know that they were a side that was kind of like a one-dimensional team, and that they had a lot of good, solid midfielders, but they probably lacked a lot of pace around the ground. East Ringwood, well, I think they're going to come out today and just give it a red hot go. They'll free themselves up. I'm so happy for Marcus that he's been able to get them over the line this year. It's been a very tough year for him, and I tip a little bit of an upset as well at East Ringwood.
Yeah, I'm going to go against the grain. I think Montrose will win. I think from last week, they put so much energy, East Ringwood, into getting over the line and keeping themselves up for Division 1 that I often find the next week that team can be a little bit deflated, even though there would be a feel-good factor. For Montrose, yeah, it has been disappointing. They'll learn lessons in a way similar to Warrandite about how they need to improve on field, and I think they'll address that in the off-season. But as for today, I think Montrose will do the chocolates.
What did hurt Montrose, Dyson, early on the season was not having Andrew Haining for that first 6 to 8 weeks. He's such a pivotal and talismanic sort of player. The players lift when he plays, and that very much in the Blackburn mould, they relied on him, and once he didn't play, they were behind the 8 ball already.
Knox take on Norwood out at Knox Gardens Reserve. Harris, Curtis and Carroll come in. Out goes McGowan, Santa Maria and Grimston. While in for Norwood, right forward, Calder and English. Out goes Tibb. I mean, Brett English has been named on the in list, and I think he's managed to play emergency the last 4 weeks. So they're hoping to potentially get him back. He's been injured for probably the back half, most of the back half of the season. So fingers crossed they can get him in, get one more game into him before that first final.
Well, I reckon Norwood have had the perfect lead-up, Dyson. They're probably the side now that really is starting to peak. They got that
12 out of their last 13.
Yeah, they got the pivot. They got the pivotal win last week to get that double chance, because as I said on EFL Sunday last week, the way the games are shaping up today, they're not going to lose to Knox. And I know Dennis Knight said that we're going to go across and we respect the opposition, and I believe that they will. But
just played a straight bat on it.
Yeah, but honestly, you could not possibly tip against Norwood today. Sorry.
Yeah, for me, Norwood just simply have more to play for, and Knox don't. So Norwood.
Oh, definitely. Norwood easy, I think, too, by there.
I think the rest of these games pretty much peter out the same way. Noble Park take on Lilydale out at Pat Wright Senior Oval. Harper, Anderson, Wright and Sketcher come in. Out goes Bertay, while Lilydale bring in Clements, Tweedy and Wilson. Out goes Klepp, McNay and Mendy. So a couple of their youngsters. I think Klepp's going back to play with the Rangers this weekend. So there are a few handy ins for the Bulls heading into finals.
Yeah, it looks like they're just getting them wound up for the big games. And look, and they're going to come out again at home. They're going to be way too strong for Lilydale, who've had a tough season.
They have, and look, they need to come out today, Noble Park. They've had 2 losses against the top 2 sides in recent times. So, you know, and those big ins today, they need, I know this is probably not the hit out that they won on the eve of the finals, but they've just got to get the job done and win handsomely today.
Pride's the funny thing. Lilydale will want to show a little bit of that today, but I just can't see Noble Park just dropping this one at all. They're going to be far too strong.
Next game, North Ringwood taking on Balwyn, the Brett Moyle retirement game, we're going to call it this afternoon. Obviously a premiership coach with the North Ringwood Football Club, a premiership captain with Balwyn back in 2008. North Ringwood bring in Blake, Decker, Shield and Moranhoot. Out goes Dean. I think Decker was actually out playing in the Gridiron Vic Bowl last week with the Warriors, so he's done it again. Balwyn bring in Sanfilippo, Bain, Wright, Neil, Matheson and Parker. Interesting outs though, Waller, Crow and Roach.
Waller was got injured.
Okay, that's what it'll be.
Yeah, because I believe he did an Achilles again, that one that he had problems with early in the season. So he's going to be a loss. But
I was just saying, in terms of the week off, it's not great to rest blokes for 2 weeks heading into the first final.
And the thing is, though, with Balwyn, though, one bloke that's been having an outstanding season but still can't crack it in the seniors is Jared Churgan.
Yeah.
You know, they've got 7 or 8 guys that I saw against the Knox game that are definite shoe-in for First Division seniors. When we're talking about finals...
Still got a guy like Taylor Gilchrist to come back in the side who's been out all year.
And put it this way, I know for a fact that the spots for the finals coming up is going to be as fierce as any club that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
There's going to be some really disappointed guys at this club come finals time next week.
Yeah, look, I think Balwyn will win. North Ringwood will take it up to them, though, and I think with the wholesale changes, or somewhat anyway, with Balwyn, it could upset the momentum a bit, but I think they're experienced enough to deal with such a situation, and I think they'll win comfortably, but not too comfortably, I suppose. Yeah,
and I think I agree. I think Balwyn, I think Daniel will have them in the right frame of mind to come out to play a good game of football. They'll respect the fact that it's Moyle's last game, all those sorts of things. But they'll also know that they've got a job to do and they've got to come out and play good football, and they'll do it today.
Andy, you mentioned wholesale changes. Listen to this from Vermont as we go to the final game in Division 1. Vermont taking on South Croydon. Castricum, Mendez, McCafferty, McComb, so both Mendez, Dan and Nick, Ellis, Phillips and Caney come in. Jordan, Anson, Emily, Greenwood, Johnson and Perry go out. Now I'm assuming Greenwood's back to the VFL. There might be 1 or 2 guys rested, particularly a couple of the older heads in the Vermont lineup. While South Croydon bring in Carly, Mellison, McLaughlin and Zeno. Out goes Job.
Well, I think South Croydon will give it everything they've got.
Vermont happy this game isn't being played at Cheong Park?
More than likely.
There's been a few round 18 games that they haven't been overly happy with in
my
previous
God,
years.
yes.
I reckon every time this matchup comes up, particularly when it's at Cheong Park, no one's overly impressed. It always goes back to that game in about 2010, I think it was.
Yeah, it does. It does. It goes back to the ground incident, but that was a story for another day. Look, you can't half tell that Vermont that they put everything in there, all the eggs in their basket last week and come up short. That was the pivotal game. I said that Norwood actually have put a halt to Vermont's finals campaign, and I still believe that. But I think Vermont, they're still capable of winning a final. They're still right in the mix, but obviously they should get the points against South Croydon today. But they're still there. They're still there, and when you've got an Eagles side playing finals, you can't write them off or underestimate them.
Yeah, no, they're one of the premier teams of the competition, and they'll give it their they'll just simmer today. I think they'll get the win as well. But, yeah, obviously the focus on next week. And, yeah, as you said, Brush, you can never write off Vermont.
Brooke Caney, good intro there. Good young bloke. Watched a lot of football, him coming up as a junior. He's got shows a lot of promise, that boy.
I think this is going to be close, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think South Croydon will give them a real run, and I think Vermont, with all the changes, that's a lot of changes to have in your game, and that does
upsets the balance.
upset a little bit. They're coming off last week. I think if South Croydon come out early and really hit them, I think it's going to be close, but I think Vermont will get it over the top.
Yep.
Division 2, there's probably only one dead rubber in Division 2 this week, and that'll be the first game that we go through. Croydon taking on Mooroolbark out at the range. B and D Dixon come in, Bentley and Britton go out, while for Mooroolbark, Brumby and Demetriou come in, Cutting and Miles go out.
Well, Croydon got back on the winners list last week after, wouldn't say a shock loss against Bayswater, but they just weren't there. I don't know what to make about Croydon at the moment. They're sitting second. They're going to play in the second semi-final. They've done everything right. And I think in this local derby, they'll want to go out and hold their form and get the win and go into second semi with a bit of confidence, Davo.
Yeah, I agree in a way. I got a funny feeling that Croydon are a little bit of the really happy to play finals in second division and really happy to play good finals in second division, but don't know whether they want to get over the line and get up there into first division. But I mean, that could be just my feeling. But today, I think,
tanking in finals.
No, I don't think they tank. But I don't think
they wouldn't be overly
I think
phased if they lost.
For a couple of years anyway. I think they need to continue to rebuild, and they've just gone. I think the last 4 or 5 weeks they've just gone about it in a
nonchalant.
Yeah. They really haven't come out and crushed teams like they did early. Mooroolbark, young, up and coming team. I think they're going to be faced up to it today, so I think Croydon will win it pretty easy.
Yeah, Mooroolbark, they're a bit of a project kind of team, and I think they will get there if they continue, with committing to the future of their young list. In terms of Croydon, it's a funny one because, as you said, Dave, it's not a bad point. I think they want to win. I think, of course, they want to win, but they don't want to win to progress. It's a funny line that you tote.
They keep saying, is it the poison chalice?
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. So, but as for today, though, I think they'll just get the job done with not too great an effort. Probably stay in second gear and just do enough to win.
Mentioned Mooroolbark committing to the future. They committed to Paris Harvey during the week as well for another year. So he gets another year with the Mustangs, as you mentioned, a young list up and coming. As I said, there's probably only one dead rubber. The game that we just went through, the next few games will have a say on both relegation and finals, with 3 sides locked in 3rd, 4th and 5th on the ladder, and also 2 sides locked at the bottom of the table. One of those sides is the Waverley Blues. They travel to Shram's Reserve Shark Park to take on Doncaster, a Doncaster side who brings in Schiavello, Monks, Carlson, Sheen and Liebelt. Out goes, listen to this, Jarvis, Fiora, Johnson, Hooper, Thompson. Which just evens up the contest a little bit, I think. Waverley Blues bring in 3 talented kids in Claven, Mear and Sandrick. Out goes Foley and Walker.
Well, look...
Effectively, Waverley have to win to make it easy for themselves. They can still lose and get in, dependent on the Doncaster East Bayswater game, but a win would all but seal them in.
Yeah, before the outs, I would have picked Doncaster, and Doncaster quite comfortably. No, Waverley Blues, or even before they walk on the ground, Dave, are going to be buoyed by the fact that there's some key outs for Doncaster. That's going to lift their spirits.
Yep.
That could be the difference. And especially if it gets tight, Waverley Blues have proven this year that they can be the master of the close finish. It could get down to the wire and Waverley Blues could get over the line, but I just keep coming back to Doncaster's form.
Yeah, I look at it and I think Waverley will win this. I think a couple of things. One, Jarvis out. Good ruckman, is in a key in that middle area. Thompson, key forward. And then you've got some good mids out, and I think that's the one area that Waverley are really strong in with Carboni and Sharp, and these boys really, really strong in their mids. They've got a range up forward that can kick a score.
They have a good... They're one of those sides, Dave, they've got multiple goal kickers.
Yep. I think they're a really dark horse. I would not be surprised that they get up today. I think Whether it's been a resting situation for Doncaster, I don't know, but I think there's too many really good footballers out of their side today. That's not that they're full of 22 absolute guns.
Yeah.
And I think, it's really evened it up, and I think Waverley have been pretty solid recently.
Yeah, they have been pretty solid recently. My head says Doncaster still, and the heart kind of goes with Waverley just for the romance of it all, I suppose. But probably going to go with the heart, if anything. I just think it's all set up for him. I mean, motivation is the key factor here, and you can't not say that Waverley won't be motivated for today.
Yeah.
You just can't. And Doncaster they don't have the motivation. They've done what they've needed to do in the home and away season.
Just got to be off that 5%, Andy.
That's it. That's all it takes. And I don't think Waverley will be off, and I think they'll win.
The other important game, Doncaster East taking on Bayswater, 3rd versus 4th. Obviously, one of these sides you would reckon has to lose unless the almost impossible happens. I think these two sides are well spread and will be able to attack enough to avoid a draw. But Ben Warren Smith is tipping a Doncaster East win and Doncaster by 100. So you can't say that there's any bias there against the Waverley Blues at all. But out at Zebby's reserve, Donny East, Bayswater, Doncaster East bringing Bird and Vayano. Out goes Mill and Phillips. Bayswater bringing Alkasavic and McCluskey. Out goes Lang and Mitch Grubb.
Could be a shootout of the two forwards here, Davo.
Yes.
McInerney and Lindback. I reckon whoever kicks the majority of goals here wins the game.
I think Donny East will win it, because if it was a Bayswater, I think Bayswater would win it. Big ground, running team, all that. Doncaster East, their ground is suited. Like Lindback, he'd want to have been born there, because it's exactly the ground for him. One kick out, spread him out, put him in by himself, and I think they'll get over the line, Donny East.
Yeah, I think I'd like to think Donny East could get over the line. Especially at home, so much to play for. Bayswater, I think, is still. I think they're safe myself.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I think it actually won't be a shootout. I think it'll be a low-scoring encounter. I think both sides will be a bit cagey about their approach to the game, and which team has the better defence? That's an argument for another day. But to give a tip, I'm probably going to stick with Doncaster East.
We'll do the last two games together only because they factor on each other in the same way. Just looking at the ladder, so we're basically talking Division 2 relegation. Which side will see the first? It'll be East Burwood. If they go down, they'll see Division 3 for the first time in the club's history. If it's Scoresby, it'll be the first time in about 10 or 15 years, I think, since they've been down in Division 3. Looking at the moment, East Burwood are 2 wins, 15 losses, a percentage of 54.81. Scoresby are 2 wins, 15 losses, a percentage of 52.94. So about 1.8% separating these two sides equates to roughly 20 odd points, depending on scores and all that. But Scoresby take on Mulgrave out at Mulgrave Reserve. Gilling, Cochrane, Cheeseman come in. Out goes Roper, Hes, Keith and Howe. Interesting out there. Scoresby are unchanged from their lineup last week. Wanturna South will play East Burwood out at Walker Reserve. Young comes in and Walker goes out. East Burwood remain unchanged from their game last week. A tip and potentially a relegation. Which side gets relegated from Division 2 this year?
Go on, Davo.
I think the Mulgrave Scoresby one will be much closer than the Wanturna South East Burwood personally. I think Wanturna South have got a few extra forwards that they can go to. I think they can kick a score. East Burwood just play that lockdown game a little bit. I think Wanty South will get over the line. Mulgrave Scoresby's interesting. I think Mulgrave will win it, but don't be surprised if it's a 0-0 affair. Therefore, I believe that means that East Burwood stay up. Is that right? Yeah, East Burwood stays up.
So if East Burwood can lock it down, Scoresby, unless Scoresby can get the win, it's going to make it pretty hard.
Scoresby, as far as I can see, Scoresby got to go for broke. So, they're not a defensive side. They've got to go out and attack, and obviously they need an extra 5 goals. East Burwood will do everything they can to bottle it up, and if they have to drop 14 behind the ball, they'll do it to make sure they stay up. That's the way I see it. I'll say East Burwood are going to get up in that game. I don't know why, but I think they will.
I feel like one of these teams will get up today, and I'm kind of leaning towards Scoresby, to be perfectly honest, and that will be a massive story in itself. So, yeah, my tips, just to reiterate, I think Scoresby and Wanturna South.
Boys, it's just Aaron back in the studio. Just give you some idea on percentage for these games, just on the predictor on Fox Sports Pulse here. If Mulgrave win by 10 points and Wanturna South win by 60, Scoresby by percentage will jump up. So there's a bit of a gap there. It's around about the 9 to 10 goals. That
what scores have you based that on? Just as a... So is that
just around the roughish
60,
sort of
30 to 60 or 40 to 100? That
sort of on around about the 60 to 100.
Yep.
Around about those, not anything out of the ordinary like I did the other week with South Belgrade.
150 to 50 and making up scores as you go along.
Yep.
Thanks very much. As we might head to you back for a quick break because the reserves game is finished and done. So Furtree Gully are through in the under-19s to the Division 4 Grand Final. In the reserves, it's Warrandyte who won pretty comfortably into the Grand Final. And after this break, we'll find out who will be the first side into the Division 4 Senior Grand Final here on EFL Game Day, brought to you by the Pancake Parlour.
Okay, boys, it's time we got ourselves a big advantage this weekend.
I'm not going to tank, Coach.
No, who said anything about tanking? It's what you'll save in the tank. I want you all to go out and get a breeze tag. Use Eastlink. You'll be at the ground faster and fresher, and you'll save fuel too.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
Program sponsor.
EFL.org.au is a must visit for the die-hard Eastern Football League fan. In our news section, check out the latest news, feature articles and video programs, including the Inside Football Friday preview. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos. Best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. To go live and local for your footy, head to efl.org.au.
The inside of a cake can have many layers. On the outside, it's hidden behind a coat of icing. But when you cut out a slice, all is exposed. At Tobin Brothers Funerals, nothing is hidden. Our website and Memory Maker app make it clear for families to make informed decisions about planning a funeral for a loved one. That's an example of how Tobin Brothers Funerals is taking transparency to new levels. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
For the best EFL rap on radio, don't miss EFL Sunday, thanks to Crocs Play Centres. From 10 till 2 every Sunday morning, the EFL Media Team bring you all the final scores, goal kickers, best players and ladders following a big round of EFL footy. The gang talk to winning coaches, players and special guests to bring you the final scores from all the seniors, reserves and under-19 matches. EFL Sunday, going live and local for your footy from 10 every Sunday morning on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Hey man, yeah man, it's crunch time.
Is that
Really speak? Nah man, it's crunch time at Pancake Parlour with the salted caramel crunch. Yeah, house-made warm salted caramel sauce and roasted almonds on 2 buttermilk pancakes topped with vanilla ice cream. Yeah man, it's crunch time at the G and then it's crunch time at Pancake Parlour. So this is footy speak then? I'm just saying man, like the salted caramel crunch would be great to have after a day at the footy. Oh, Pancake Parlour open 24 hours, High Point, Malvern and Doncaster East. Lovely.
Program sponsor.
Love it local and keep your radio dial locked on 98.1 Radio Eastern. EFL Game Day kicks off at 1 every Saturday as the EFL Media Team bring you all the EFL Game Day action, thanks to the Pancake Parlour. On Sunday, tune in from 10 for Crocs Play Centre's EFL Sunday for a complete review of all the senior EFL matches. Wednesday night from 6, tune in to the Huddle with Paul Seamus, Aaron Kirby Rodeo and Will Taylor for a lighter look at the EFL. Love it local this season, 98.1 Radio Eastern.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to Walker Park in Mitcham, all set on EFL Game Day for the first final of season 2015. It is Warrandyte taking on Forest Hill. Both sides out on the ground at the moment, warming up. There's plenty of people around it. For Warrandyte being in all 3 games, it's still a fairly big crowd at the moment. As I mentioned, joining me as special comments, welcoming back to the EFL Media Team, will be Brett Davidson. Excited about this one, mate?
I am actually. I think it's going to be a great contest. I'm really looking forward to seeing a number of the matchups. I think that's going to be a key to see how both coaches work their boards. Really interested to see that Ashnoldi, I know he was named, but he's out there. I knew he had a bit of a calf injury, and he's a key player for the group. I rate him extremely highly as an effective captain that can play forward, releases Carnelli and Magames. So having him play has been a real fillip for the team. So I think that'll help Forest Hill. But you look at the Warrandyte side, and it is chock full of talent.
Oh, yeah.
And as I said earlier on, I think the key to this whole game is the fact that Warrandyte have brought in a number of players that have got genuine leg speed, something they didn't have last year. And if you haven't seen them before, just look out for the boys that they talk about coming from the western suburbs, because Chad Gorsey or Gauchi, Trent Scorsis, and the other boy is Artie Lamaris. These boys can play football. Very skilled, very quick. They all like goals, and they've really added a different dimension to the team.
Yeah, Gauchi actually kicked 4 against Forest Hill last time, so he'll be hot on the radar to get amongst the goals today. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Fia Tutu plays today for Forest Hill. I just think we've spoken at length about Warrandyte's forward line, but let's see how they combat it, and he'll be right at the heart of that. And yeah, big game need from him if they're going to get over the line.
Am I looking too much into this? The toss was just made between Nolte and Norton then. Norton's won the toss as he did in last year's second semi-final, kick to the opposite end.
Just break it up.
So it'll be Forest Hill to the White Horse Road end in the first quarter this year. Be Warrandyte to the housing estate or the left-hand side of your radio dial. As we welcome in my co-commentator for this afternoon, Ben Warren-Smith. This is finals footy at its best.
Been excited to see this game for a number of weeks, Dyson. We knew Warrandyte were going to finish on top. There was a little bit of a raffle happening behind that, but it always seemed like it was in Forest Hill's hands. So we had this game penciled in a long time ago. We called this game out at Warrandyte earlier on in the season, and it was a walk in the park for Warrandyte that day. And ever since watching them play football on that afternoon, I thought that they were certainly the team to beat. So it's been a long time between drinks, but watching the scores come through, going through Brash's stats every week and talking to all our guests on EFL Sunday, they are doing absolutely everything right at the Warrandyte Football Club, and I just can't see them being beaten today.
No, I agree. And look, interesting already. A look at Tutu is starting on the bench.
Is he?
It's an interesting move. Look, he's one of those players that you would nearly put him in that back half and say, you know what, just do what you do.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you stood next to the man. He's a monster.
Giant.
He is a monster, and he can get going. He can kick the foot. He can do lots of good things. So it's an interesting way that they're starting up. I'll be interested to see who's going to do the matchups in. I know McPherson's down there, Britton's down there. A few of those boys that are very, very good back players. I'll be interested to see who takes Froud, because one will have Dunn and the other one will definitely have Evans, so we'll see who goes to Froudy. That'll be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I think for Warrandyte, they've talked the talk. It's simple now. They've just got to walk the walk. And today, I reckon they'll do it.
Both sides in position, ready and raring to go. It'll be Hosking going up against Stoneham in the first bounce. Umpires just doing their last checks before we get this game underway. Finals football across the eastern suburbs, and it starts right here at Walker Park. Warrandyte and Forest Hill, two of the premier sides in Division 4, and that's not a great start, particularly for the Warrandyte Football Club. Stoneham winning the free kick for a centre square infringement. Handball's wide now. The kick comes out from Pincott. Didn't quite find its target there in Todd Berger, and it spills over the boundary line and out of bounds.
And immediately Wensley's gone to Froud. That's going to be a big, big ask for young Wensley on Froudy.
Had a good season, Wensley, though.
60 out from home for Forest Hill, although Warrandyte gather and regain possession in the centre of the ground. And Salty couldn't quite grab it. Numbers around for Forest Hill if they're clean. Nolte gives away. Handball, great tackle there from Jack Wensley. Put Froud under a lot of pressure there. Now a chance again here for Evans. Ugly kick there from Tout, high up and under. Put Salty under a lot of pressure. And the ball spills over the boundary line and out of bounds. We'll cross to our LifeCare boundary riders shortly. We'll get a bit of a weather update. I think you can basically say it in one word. It's perfection out here at Walker Park. Ball thrown in once again. We work on that occasion from Hosking. Gets the tap, tries to get something moving. Although Pincott cuts it off. Gives to Whitty. Whitty into a dangerous position. Forest still able to clear though up towards centre wing. Rowe has tackled well. Great not unrewarded, the tackle there from Norton. Trying to push it forward, trying to cut through. I think that's Burkett in the number 2 jumper. Up towards centre wing, in the hands of Holdsworth, who sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Already Daly for Warrandyte's got involved. He's a strong midfielder that hits the ball hard. So yeah, some good matchups out there.
So the umpire balls the ball in. Forest Hill get the little knockdown. Stacks on the Miller might shoot out there. Knocked out a little backhander there by Rowe. Got it to his team's advantage. Tommy Norton, the Warrandyte skipper, in and under as always. Will be at the bottom of the pack when he hands the ball back to the umpire. Almost true centre wing position here out at Walker Park, grandstand side. Big crowd looming out here. It's finals time in the Eastern Football League. The best time of the year. Nice knockdown there by Stoneman. Regathered his own football and got boot to ball. Up towards the half-forward line. Nolte, little handball back. That was okay. Holdsworth kick was half smothered. Picked up by Norton on the right boot. Got copped one after it for his troubles. But Scorsese took the mark. He's going to play on. A little kick over towards the Cullen direction. This way, that way. Little handball over the top. And then they're linking up. Here's Lamaris on the left boot. His favourable side. Kicks it towards the Dunn direction. Over the back of the pack. He takes the mark. He read the flight of the football magnificently, and he'll go back and have the first genuine shot on goal, the only shot on goal, from about 25 metres out directly in front.
Just showed his experience there, didn't he? Just read the ball better in flight and just ducked out the back, and it was a relatively simple chess mark in the end.
How's the passage of play, though?
Yeah, that's what I say.
Coast to coast.
Daly to Scorsese, very
Lamaris
clever.
as well.
Lamaris, really good football.
For goal number 55 of the season, Kennedy, like from the west post, but comes in and pops it straight over the goal up high its head. That's the first goal on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, and it goes to the Warrandyte Football Club. 3 minutes in, and they are 1 straight 6. Forest Hill yet to score.
Last week he kicked 3 in the first 6 minutes against us, and he is in red hot form at the moment. I really like the way he uses his body, and just seeing it was just experience, because McPherson is a quality fullback.
Oh yeah.
And for him to be out-judged is a key thing. So well done then to Dunny.
Just nudged him under it.
Yeah.
So first blood drawn by the Bloods. Ball back in the centre once again.
Pardon the pun.
Deliberate pun there. Clearance going that way of Warrandyte up towards half forward. Kick wasn't great. Intended for Froud, goes over the boundary line. Out of bounds on the full. So a free kick going the way of Wensley, who kicks short. Dangerous position. Finds its target in Cicluna. Put him under a lot of pressure. Pincott will get it under pressure here from Ensoldi. Hard up against the boundary line. A lot of work to do Forest Hill to try and get it out of this one. Great tackle there on Norton just to hold it in. Umpire calls for it, says they'll have it about 30 metres round from the Warrandyte goal. They lead 1 straight 6. Forest Hill yet to score.
I'll say Michael Tatt would be most pleased at this stage of the game with that defensive effort there by Warrandyte.
Especially Froud. He's never been known as a great defensive forward, but he's really introduced that into his game this year, and I thought he was excellent then.
Yeah. Tackle from Pincott was too high. Gave up with a free kick. Top of the goal square. Plenty of options round. Dunn got caught in back position. Great body work there from McPherson just to try and keep him out. Now the run of, got our number 12 on there. Don't have listed. If our LifeCare boundary riders can check that one out for Forest Hill. So handball comes back from Stoneham to Pincott. Kick was too short. Gave away, found Pilcher. Up to centre wing. This is a good build up here. That was Nolte. Nolte on centre wing out of side. Kicks inside forward 50, looking for a marking option. Won't quite find it. Numbers still round for Forest Hill. Won't get the free kick for in the back. And about 35 metres round. Umpire will call for it. Right in front of the Forest Hill goal is Fair Tutu runs on for the first time at the 5-minute mark of this first term.
Our LifeCare boundary rider Lockie to find out who number 37 is for the Bloods. But running into an open goal, this is going to be Burkett, and he slams it through. So Forest Hill get the quick reply on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We're now 5.5 minutes in the first term, and it's all square, 1 straight 6 apiece.
They'd be really disappointed with that there, Warrandyte. They got hurt on the inside. It was a fairly simple handball from Carnelli across, and to run into an open goal from a stoppage would Towdy be very disappointed with that.
Yeah, there was not a lot of goal side protection there, and it was, they just waltzed in at the end of the day.
2-2 into the ruck.
1 straight 6 apiece. Second semi-final action here. Right across the EFL. The other game going on in finals is over at Eastfield Reserve, just down the road here from Walker Park, and that's Templestowe taking on the Base, and we'll keep you as up to date as possible on that game, and particularly the games going around in Division 2, as I reckon Waverley have kicked the first 5 goals against Doncaster early doors.
Bayswater have certainly kicked the first goal against Dundee East.
That's what we like to hear.
I'm getting play-by-play here.
So ball finally returned to the centre of Walker Park, and we're ready to get underway. Scores level here at the 6.5 minute mark. Listening to Pancake Parlour, EFL Game Day. 2-2 immediately in the ruck, gets his first tap down, although Warrandyte will gain the clearance. Nice tackle there on Scorsis. Him under a lot of pressure. Large trying to throw his body in there as well. We'll cross boundary side thanks to LifeCare Croydon and Lockie.
Yeah, g'day boys. For the Bloods, number 37 is Steve Harris. He's changed his number.
Thanks very much to you. Doing sharp work. Boundary side, Lockie, Munro and Esmond Aponso in this afternoon's game. All held up once again in the centre of the ground.
Scores level at Zerby's, thanks to the local burger company.
It'll be play-by-play all afternoon. Ben Warren Smith on the edge of his seat, not because of this game, but because of the game that's going on just down the road from here.
I am on the edge of my seat.
So Warrandyte gained the free kick, centre wing out of side, short chip kick, finds its target in the skipper Norton. Norton kicks across, finds his target there in Tui. Tout rated him as the most underrated player in Division 4, Dan Tui. Hard up against the boundary line here, got to do a lot of work. Froud, and ball sent over the boundary line and out of bounds. 1 straight 6 apiece on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. You're listening to Pancake Parlour EFL Game Day. Open 24 hours, Doncaster, High Point and Malvern East.
High brings it in. No one got the clear knockout, went over both ruckman's head. Daly tried to release the football. Forest Hill, little toe poke towards the boundary line, and over she goes. That was Chris Tout. In there,
Doncaster by 7 points early on, BWS.
Great stuff, thanks to the local burger company. Hosking got the knockdown. Scorses, who's had a bit of the football early, gets a toe poke up forward, and Froud, well, he plays in front. He's got a great couple of metres of speed on him once the ball's in flight, and he pulls it down nicely. So he'll have a shot from about 35, 40 metres out. Distance certainly not a problem, and looking to put the Blood second through.
And this will suit him because he actually runs around the body a little bit when he kicks the football, and I think that's why he kicks as many points as what he does, but he's generally a beautiful kick, and if he's on song, he's a hard man to stop.
Well, he's kicked 78 goals for the season. Can he make it 79? Straight over the goal umpire's head. They know where the big sticks are, the players early in this big final. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 9 minutes in the first term, Warrandyte have a 6-point lead. They are 2 straight 12, and Forest Hill 1 straight 6.
What I liked about the mark that Froud took is he leapt early, and because of that, he used his body to protect the space from the defender. So it was a really deliberate early leap just to get that momentum forward and hit the ball at the highest point.
So the All Trophies leading goal kicker for season 2015 in Division 4 has his first. Ash Froud and his side have 2. And they lead by 6 points. Ball back in the middle once again. Tap down. Good punch there from 2-2. Just trying to clear a bit of space. And though it's held up, we'll have a secondary ball up.
It's an interesting move having 2-2 in the ruck. I think it takes away from what his real value can be, but look, they haven't got a lot of tall, so I would imagine they don't want to be throwing Nolte in there at this stage.
So again, that man 2-2 goes up in the ruck. Bit of a 0-0 draw. Forest Hill will win it out. Rowe gave his hands away. High ball to the centre of the ground. Pincock was the target. It was punched away from his hands there. And now Warrandyte regain possession on the outer side through McAdam, who goes inside forward 50. Froud with the target. Bounced over his head, but they regain possession. Handball back, gains a little bit of space deep here for Evans. Hard up in the pocket. Ball to the top of the goal square. And no mark taken. Ball spills over the boundary line right in front of the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 10 minutes gone at first term.
Both teams working really hard to keep an open forward line as much as they can and get it in as quickly as they possibly can as well.
So ball will be thrown in once again. Good tap out from Fair 2-2. Just opened up the space. Now a chance, I think it's Whitty.
Cicluna,
who's wrapped up about 40 metres out from his defensive goal. There'll be a free kick going the way of Warrandyte.
Yeah, I think
just something at the bottom of the pack.
A bit high, maybe.
High fend off. Yep. The umpire sort of threw his elbow up. So free kick to the flashy booted Rossi and Soldi. Bright orange wheels. Comes in now. Man on the mark, 40 metres out. to give his side a 2-goal lead. Can't do it across the face. Through for the first blemish on the scoreboard for Warrandyte. They're 2-1-13. Forest Hill 1-straight-6. 11 minutes gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
If you wear boots that colour, you've got to be able to make sure it kicks straight.
Pilcher wastes no time, gets it on to his teammate there in Burkett, I think it was, who got it out. Harris chopped it off there for the Bloods. Handball over to Evans, backwards to go forwards. They've got the numbers on the spread. Tommy Norton once again goes backwards, this time going inside 50 is Hookie, or thereabouts, but the kick wasn't too crash hot, so it was chopped off at the defensive line. The kick forward now up for Forest Hill. Big flyer over the back there by Nolte. Well, he's getting a bit of the football early, gets the handball over the top. That's okay, Cicluna, but right on his hammer there was Hookie, who won the football as well. Handballs over the top. It was a little bit of a hospital one. It was a 2-on-1 situation. Berger laid a great tackle on his opponent there, and we'll have a bounce just outside the centre square. Player getting up, Jacob Daly.
Just read the scores coming through from Shrams. In the Colts between Doncaster and Waverley, it was a shot on the siren that got Waverley the win. In the reserves, it was both these sides are playing the first semi. It was a draw. So imagine what the senior game is going to be like this afternoon.
Exciting stuff, that's for sure. Final 5 weeks of the season. Where has it all gone? But at least it's good times ahead. There's no doubt about that. High throws it up, hand dives at the ball again after competing in the contest. Let's cross down boundary side, thanks to LifeCare. Lachlan, Munro.
Yes, the wind has picked up down here. It's heading towards the Ringwood direction, and it could be drastic for set shots for both sides.
So coming right over the back of the grandstand here at Walker Park.
Around the grounds, boys, both Doncaster sides lead by 8 points, currently annulled by a goal over Knox early going.
And Soldy, the kick up towards the half-forward line, it was okay. They'll get a genuine chance here. The Bloods for outheads front spot, and he's got good jukes too. He just stuck his bum out at the right time and pulled the ball in, so he'll have his second shot on goal. He's already kicked 1 goal in this first term. We've gone 13 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
And there's the quality of Gauchi then. Just the way he had that ball, put it in front, and Froud, that was... Look, he's
used his backside twice to take the mark, actually.
Wensley's a good player, but they need to get someone onto him different.
Yep.
You couldn't be more confident when the ball's in his hands and he pushes it and he hits the
too
post.
accurate.
So give the guy a rap, and same old story. He lets you down 1-1 to Ash Froud, taking his side to 2-2-14. 14 minutes almost gone here on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Forest Hill are 8 points behind.
Hit outs 13-4 in favour of Forest Hill, yet the clearances are 7 apiece thanks to Tuesday.
Justin Pilcher to go kick out wide. Brent Campbell just snuck into, his position thanks to Tuesday.
Nice to see you, Grant.
I knew there was a mark out there. I didn't know anyone had it yet. Out to centre wing, out of side. Couldn't take the mark on that occasion was Hosking. Ball will still come back towards the forward 50 here for Warrandyte. Pressure comes late. Good work there from Alston just to try and clear it away. Can't do so. Turns it over. Ball in the hands of Evans right on the 45-metre line. And it's held up once again.
I think because they're not tall enough, Forest Hill are trying to kick the ball short a lot and pinpoint their kicks, and it's making it difficult for them to get it into their forward line.
Tutu grabbed it out of the ruck, just tried to kick true and turned it over. Although it would come back the other way. A free kick going the way of Forest Hill to be Pincott to take it. Centre wing out of side.
Number 12 for the Forest Hill Football Club, Lockie and Esmond, if you can help us out, boys, is the kick now for Forest Hill. Can they get one back? And knocked down there by Harris. At the fall, the ball first play to meet it there was Daly, but he couldn't trap it. Kick goes inside, forward 50 towards the Carnelli direction, but standing in front, Lewis Oliver, who's got the big job today on the great full forward, takes the mark, kicks it out towards the Gauchi direction. He had to use his body. He won it over 2 players, kicks it in towards the centre half forward position over the head there of Richardson. Nicely trapped there in, and a little handball away. I think that might be Magama's in there. In fact, over the top there to Alston. Now it comes out to 2-2. This way, then that way. It's just slammed it on the boot. It has to be Lux of Fortune, and it's okay because Holdsworth got the ball over towards Carnelli. He's in a bit of trouble there. The umpire's going to ping him. Good tackle. Good pressure by Warrandyte there.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that lets Fia down is his kicking.
Yeah.
And under pressure, he just kicks blind like that.
McAdam might choose to switch the play here. He does. Tui takes the mark, and he's got a little bit of space too, and he's got a target up towards our forward line here. Scorsese, who takes the mark, short passes on. They're doing it well here. Clean disposal. Ash Froud had a lot of the football, and I tell you what, at a 45-metre arc, a fair old chance to roost this. He winds himself up, kicks it to the top of the goal square. Which way's this one going to go? It actually carried in the end, but pushed off to the right-hand side. That's his second behind. That's Warrandyte's third on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 2-3-15. They lead by 9 points at the 16-minute mark of the first term over Forest Hill.
Boundary.
There's been a couple of passages of play where you just get nervous about their ball movement. We'll cross boundary side while we're waiting for the ball. Esmond Aponso, thanks to LifeCare.
Number 12 for the Zebras is Mark Shelders, and the Blood supporters are very pro, making a lot of noise down here on the boundary line.
Certainly trying to get their side up. It'll be Pilcher to kick out one of the older heads. But the Zebras lineup.
It's a gun.
Though he still looks about 12. He's short, finds Whitty. Another one of the older heads, although much older, Matt Whitty. Short chip kick over the top, finds its target. I like this one to play, although that handball wasn't flash. Now a chance to recover. Short chip kick finds its target in Cicluna. Once again, a nice build-up here from Forest Hill. They've managed to move it to centre wing. Ball in the hands of Christian Holdsworth.
Not much on.
Former Titan.
No one's moving.
Played just down the road at Nunna Warding did Christian Holdsworth. Inside forward 50, looking for Carnelli, who win the free kick for the hole.
Very lucky. It was a 1-on-3.
He's played that beautifully, and that's a key forwards free kick to Matt Carnelli.
Yeah, it was a 1-on-3. As you said, no one was moving. It was all very stagnant, and Carnelli, that was the best possible result, and he's actually fashioned it, so well done to him.
Set of 45s. He'll kick from a 45 and probably kick right.
60. Yeah, he'll kick at 60. It'll go post high. And,
right over into the corner of Rooks and Whitehorse Road. Comes in now. Ugly kick off the boot. Just stayed at left, but he's managed to find a target. So it'll be a 2-2. Right up against the boundary line. Boundary umpire's going to question it.
Yeah, it's all
and
good.
Happy with it. So fair 2-2 from deep in the pocket over near the tennis club here at Walker Park.
Important that he just snags this and they pluck a goal out. Here, Warrandyte.
Plays on, snaps around the body, and through for one behind. So Forest Hill, after scoring the first goal, move on to 1-1-7, and Warrandyte 2-3-15. 18 minutes gone here on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. You're listening to Pancake Parlour EFL Game Day, whether you're listening on 98.1 Radio Eastern or streaming live at www.efl.org.au.
Can't imagine Fair Tutu's kicked too many in his career. Would that be all right?
No, he's certainly kicked plenty.
Has he?
So
from the premiership years of Glenn Waverley, charging through. Yeah.
Okay.
Around the grounds, thanks to the local Burger Co. boys. Doncaster 3-2-20 lead Waverley Blues yet to score. Doncaster East 4-2-26 lead Bayswater 1-1-7.
Doing a brilliant job this afternoon, Aaron Kirkby Rodia in the Radio Eastern studios. Mark taken by Mark Cullen.
I'm not that happy with the job he's doing. Giving me the wrong score.
Cullen put himself in a bit of trouble in the end. He'll kick out wide towards Tout. He copped one afterwards, so Tout gets the ball and he'll be... I tell you what, he was almost close to the mark there. So asked to come back.
If he had a run inside, he would have been right.
So Tout, little short chip, Ansoldi takes the mark. No one takes the mark, so he's able to take off here, Ansoldi. The right foot kick, that's an absolute beauty. Dunn dropped what he probably should have taken. Comes out now. Hamish Hosking just gives the old fend off. Which way will this one bounce? He needed a wrong and in the end.
That would have been genuinely the play and goal of the day. The fend off from the big ruckman and then the snapshot on goal.
You just think that when it clicks, it's really going to click for Warrandyte. Yeah, like that. How many times are you going to see Froud drop a chest mark like that? And he's missed a couple of easy ones. So if they get going, they're going to be really dangerous.
So short chip kick came to Britton, who kicked out wide, found his target deep there with shoulders.
They've done this easy every time, and this is where they fall down this next one.
Trying to look for his target there. I've got, oh no, it's a 19. It looks like an 18 Holdsworth.
Inside 50s, 9-4 in favour of Warrandyte.
So just doing enough at the moment. They currently hold a 9-point lead. Ball to be thrown in about 60 metres round from their goal. Big punch came back from Hosking. First immediate here will be Britton, but he was under pressure from Ansoldi.
Well done.
Great work. I think that's Tout who kicks inside forward 50. Can't quite find Froud the target. Ball at the bottom of the pack there with Evans, who's held up about 25 metres round from the Warrandyte goal. Ticked into time on here first term. Listening to EFL Game Day. It's Warrandyte taking on Forest Hill. Ball to be thrown back in once again. Now a chance to clear out through Burkett for Forest Hill, up towards centre wing, 2-on-1. A lot of work to do for Holdsworth, couldn't do it. It'll come straight back in with a high ball under this one. Will be Norton. He can't take the mark. Goes through the hands of Britton and over the boundary line and out of bounds.
I think Forest Hill will be happy with this.
Yep.
They've played poorly and they're only 9 points behind. So, you know, I think if they can go in at this rate, they'll readjust and, you know, they would be pretty happy with this result.
Easy knockdown by Stoneham. Large drop, what he probably should have taken, but there was a fair bit of pressure surrounding him. So we'll have a bounce about 50 to 55 metres out from the Warrandyte goal line. They lead this game by 9 points. Stoneham got up high then, got the knockdown, shoulders on the right boot, just bangs it out of the danger zone, kicks it out towards the centre wing position. One bounce and over the fence for a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, I see the Forest Hill defence, they look really nervous when Warrandyte go up forward, and I think that's something, well, if they're going to have to address how they go about that.
Well, the fact that Froud's got 4 paces on Wensley at the moment is dangerous.
They just look nervous.
Hosking got the knockdown over the top that time. That was good play. Burkett couldn't release it, but Large stole it. Handball towards the direction there of Taudu. Got boot to ball and gained a valuable 30 metres. Pack forms. Richardson's in there. So too is Fisher. In fact, it was Dean Maguire, and Pye comes in and says, settle down, everyone. Create some space and we'll restart play. So 22 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 9-point lead to the Warrandyte Football Club. Large couldn't trap it. Hosking back down to Large. And this time Warrandyte will get a chance to release. The kick goes inside forward 50 towards the Froud. Direction front spot again. He got knocked away. That was good play there by Wensley. Got the handball away. Evans chopped it off. Handball out wide there to Large. Can he trap it? He's had the fumbles a little bit over the last few minutes there. Picked up there by Whitty. Got the handball away. Alston on the right boot. Bouncing football. Which way is this one going to bounce? Appleby trapped it, but he got a nice little hip and shoulder by O'Sullivan over the boundary line, and we'll have a boundary throw in about 70 metres out from the Warrandyte goals.
They've defended that well, I thought, then, Forest Hill. They were completely out of it and actually got back into it then.
Certainly high intensity as Harris got the handball back, and now they'll use the switch here as Unsoldi. Well, he had a little bit of extra time there to get the handball away, but it was dangerous. McGarmis created the spoil. Kick inside forward 50 there by Rowe. That was good play. Nolte finds himself in the pocket. He's about 35 metres out, difficult angle, but Ash Nolte, he's a fantastic player and he certainly knows where the goals are. He's kicked 19 so far this season.
That was great defensive efforts there by Forrester. They just kept forcing Warrandyte back and back and back, and the errant handball came and they just won it, and a little chip kick over the top, and they found themselves with the shot and goal.
So after defending so well, can they get their reward? Ash Nolte leans over the football. That's a beautiful kick off the boot. The goal umpire did not move. So Forest Hill get their second on the board, moving them on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard within 3 points, 2-1-13, Warrandyte 2-4-16.
And Towdy would not be happy. If you're going to switch to the football at Mitcham, you've got to make sure, A, you've got space, and B, you've got to hit your target. And they didn't have space and they didn't hit the target. And that's what happens when you do that. You get forward pressure, and again, as we just said, great kick from Nolte, and he's been a real key to get back into this side, a real key.
Yep. Back
Around the grounds, thanks to our local Burger Co. Sorry, Dyson. Both Doncaster sides lead by 26 points and Norwood by 13 points.
It's looking pretty good for Doncaster East and Bayswater playing finals next week. They'll
Very early.
A couple of weeks they'll play in the first semi-final. Warrandyte more in the second semi-final in Division 4. Go inside forward 50, and Soldy will swoop on this. This has got to be a contender for the goal. Hit the post at the last bounce and it threw for one behind.
There goes your highlight reel.
I had that one up on the highlights reel already. Warrandyte 2-5-17. Forest Hill 2-1-13. 24 minutes gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
You don't often get to sit right behind one that you think is going to be goal of the year just about.
That was handed on a silver platter.
Need the Warney leg break. That's all it needed.
Well, Forest Hill, kick goes towards the Nick Pincott direction. I tell you what, he copped one pretty hefty from Lee Evans, and the umpire said it won't be a 25, but he players come in to lend support.
I think it was actually the way he fell onto the ground. His head took a bit of a hit there.
It's its own highlight reel because he didn't take his eye off the football, did Pincott, who might just receive the football back here. Short passes on. Burkett. He's had a bit of the football in this first term, switches it out towards the shoulders direction, who wastes no time and takes off towards the wing, getting down low. Dean Maguire, who's also had a few touches from the half-back line.
Oh, it's an absolute shocker of a kick straight into the arms of Dunn. If there was ever a gift, this is it, but Dunn pushes it to the right-hand side. I tell you what, he'll be happy that it went out of bounds in the end because they'll get another chance, but, geez, he should have probably done a lot better than that.
Speaking of silver platters.
I think that's probably the fourth quite easy one that they've missed.
They keep pushing it to the right as well. Yeah, leaning back on the kicks they are.
Lockie's spot on with the wind pushing across the ground. There's no doubt about that as the ball comes straight into the arms there of Mackenzie. He lost the football. They'll get a chance here. Snap around the body. And that's a brilliant kick by Richardson. And the umpire said, no, it hit the post. So you can have 1 point, not 6. So Bendigo Bamboard scoreboard, 26-minute mark. 18 plays 13. But Warrandyte have the lead. It's 8 scoring shots to 3.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. The style of play is very, very evident. We've got Forest Hill short.
Possession game.
Try turn it over, and Warrandyte just trying to capitalise on that and trying to run the football as much as they can.
Well, the skills have been letting them down a little bit, Forest Hill, but again, it's just Warrandyte just being a bit profligate in front of goal, just wasting their chances.
That net's a brilliant idea, but it's just not wide enough. We had to wait for the ball to come back most of the time.
It's like a model net.
Yeah.
It only allows for goals and not behinds.
Great kick out from Burkett, finds Pincott now at centre wing out of side. Chips in short, finds Fiatutu right on centre wing. Now he builds up, looks to send this one inside forward 50. Stoneham the target, almost takes a great mark on the second dig, couldn't quite do so. And the ball's held up right 45 metres out from the Forest Hill goal.
I think that's a good move, putting Stoneham forward when he's not in the ruck. I think that's clever because he's got a great leap.
Yeah, he does.
Pincott inside forward 50, one-on-one. Coming back with a fly to the ball there was Cullen, couldn't take the mark. Ball in the hands of Warrandyte now. This is Appleby, had to get it away under a bit of pressure. Norton finally got his disposal away. Now Gauci gives the handball
Silky,
off.
isn't he?
Almost going to get it back here, but manages to try and find a teammate, work him into the game. Here's McHardy, back to Gauci. Just sells a bit of candy, finally gives it away, but he's turned it over. Forest Hill a chance. Empty forward line. Ash Nolte sitting right in the goal square, and it will line up to put through Forest Hill's third of the afternoon.
And that's the thing, though, isn't it? Because an experienced player knows that a quick turnover at a Mitcham ground can get you put yourself in the right position at the right time. Warrandyte should have been running away with that.
Well, that's the thing.
Nolte for the third of the afternoon comes in. And it makes no mistake, kicks straight over the goal umpire's head. The skipper has 2, his side have 3. They move on to 3-1-19. They lead this game by 1 point. Warrandyte with all the chances, 2-6-18.
Yeah, as silky as Gauci is, and he's got great agility, he just tried to bite off a little bit more than he could chew, and realised he put himself in a bit of a bad spot, and again, just lacks defending by Warrandyte, and Nolte at the back all alone.
First option would be the thing that they'd be talking about to him right then. He didn't take his first option. And if you think about it, that's 2 crucial mistakes in the defensive part, 2 goals. That really hurt them on the scoreboard.
Whereas Warrandyte haven't done that when Forest Hill have turned it over.
Around the grounds, thanks to the local Burger Co. Waverley Blues have gone bang, bang and bang. It's back to 8 points. Doncaster 4-3-27, Waverley 3-1-19. Doncaster East still lead by 29 points.
Shoulders takes the mark across centre half, back chipped it into the middle, looking for 2-2, stolen by Large for Warrandyte, who banged it on his boot. He gained every bit of 40 metres. Evans went up for it, but couldn't pull it in on the second bite, and over the boundary line she goes.
Nick Pincott, 8 disposals and 3 tackles this quarter, thanks to Juice Tap.
It is delicious. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe on efl.org.au. It's quarter time out here at Walker Park for the big Division 4 final. Who will go through to the grand final in 2 weeks' time? Forest Hill in the last couple of minutes hit the lead, 3-1-19. They lead by 1 solitary point. Warrandyte 2-6-18. The goal kickers on the ground. Ash Nolte has 2 with 1 to Burkett. For Warrandyte, Luke Dunn kicked the first goal of the game, and Ash Froud has 1 goal too. We'll be back after these few messages on 98.1 Radio Eastern to say what's happening around the eastern suburbs as you hashtag Love It Local this afternoon. See you in a moment.
It's difficult to see through a dirty window, but once you clean it, you can clearly see the view. Tobin Brothers Funerals is just like a clean window. Its easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app are so transparent, you don't need to clear the cobwebs to find the information you need. It's all there for you to see and make an informed decision when planning a loved one's funeral. Download Tobin Brothers Memory Maker app today. It's free from iTunes and Google Play. Or find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
For comprehensive EFL video coverage, head to efl.org.au and check out our EFL TV portal. Don't miss The Agenda every week for all the latest news from right around the Eastern Football League. And you can get involved by voting for your favourite EFL Play of the Week. EFL TV, love it local 24/7 at efl.org.au.
Good news, boys. It's 20% off to travel on Eastlink on weekends and public holidays with a car tag. So, with the money you'll save, you'll have enough.
Enough for what, Coach?
My birthday present next week, and I have my eye on some sparkly gold footy boots with some pandas on them.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
In sparkly boots.
Program sponsor.
EFL.org.au is a must visit for the die-hard Eastern Football League fan. In our news section, check out the latest news, feature articles and video programs, including the Inside Football Friday preview. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos. Best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. To go live and local for your footy, head to efl.org.au.
Hey man, yeah man, it's crunch time. Is that footy speak? Nah man, it's crunch time at Pancake Parlour with the salted caramel crunch. Yeah, house-made warm salted caramel sauce and roasted almonds on 2 buttermilk pancakes topped with vanilla ice cream. Yeah man, it's crunch time at the G and then it's crunch time at Pancake Parlour. So this is footy speak then. I'm just saying man, like the salted caramel crunch would be great to have after a day at the footy. Oh, Pancake Parlour open 24 hours, High Point, Malvern and Doncaster East. Lovely.
Program sponsor.
For the best EFL wrap on radio, don't miss EFL Sunday, thanks to Crocs Play Centres. From 10 till 2 every Sunday morning, the EFL Media Team bring you all the final scores, goal kickers, best players and ladders following a big round of EFL footy. The gang talk to winning coaches, players and special guests to bring you the final scores from all the seniors, reserves and under-19 matches. EFL Sunday, going live and local for your footy from 10 every Sunday morning on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to Orca Park in Mitcham, and after a competitive first term, it is Warrandyte 2-6-18. After all the run of play, they trail Forest Hill 3-1-19. Bit of action both ways. Probably more of the play with Warrandyte, but just couldn't make the most of opportunities.
Oh, without a doubt, I thought Warrandyte were cleaner with the football. Especially early, they looked really on song. They just couldn't hit the scoreboard in the right direction. But to Forest Hill's credit, you know, they're going to walk in and go, we haven't really been in the game and we're in front. They haven't been able to get their game going. They've tried that short pass from our defence. They've turned it over a number of times, but every time they've got it inside probably the forward 80, they've suddenly looked dangerous because Warrandyte have made some fairly basic mistakes with overusing the football, trying to switch it into areas where they shouldn't have, and Forest Hill have actually hurt them on the scoreboard, whereas Warrandyte have not been able to do it the other way.
Well, that's the thing. Most of the goals have come from turnovers, and Warrandyte have certainly had their chances. They just haven't taken them. As you said as well, Brady, there's been a lot of space out the back in the Forest Hill forward line, and you've taken advantage of that. So that's where it's come down to. In general play, it's pretty much been Warrandyte for the most part. But again, it's where it counts. So where it counts is in front of goal, and Forest Hill have been the better side. And
when you think about it, there's been some moves that I didn't expect, which I think have been good. Tutu in the ruck has been handy.
He's been okay.
He allows then the young boy to go down.
Nolte.
Stoneham's been able to go forward, adds another, I suppose, marking option. But Nolte is the key here because McGarmas has been virtually not involved. Carnelli's had one opportunity through a free kick, but Nolte is such a clever player for a tall. His ability to run laterally as a tall and always be in play is very, very impressive. Really good captain, and you know he's kicked 2 great goals, 2 team lifting goals. So they have to make sure they don't allow him that easy space. But I think the key will be what will Warrandyte come out because I would imagine Michael Tout has given them a fair spray at quarter time.
Yeah, thanks to Tuesday, Grant Campbell, the stats from that first term.
Clearances went Warrandyte's way, 14 to 11. They're on top in the contested possessions, 41 to 33. Forest Hill having 42 to 33 uncontested possessions. But the big stat was inside 50 count, went Warrandyte's way, 15 to 8. But as you can see by the scoreboard, they didn't capitalise on that inside 50 dominance.
Sharp as always, Grant Campbell, all thanks to Tuesday.
Boundary.
And Yarra Valley Water across boundary side, thanks to LifeCare Croydon, Lachie Munro.
Yes, Michael Tout unfortunately declined my interview, but he was very angry in the huddle. He was making sure that the focus... he was making sure to focus pressure on the midfield and to reduce those turnovers, because Forest Hill have been scoring a lot off turnovers.
Let's see if they can get back in the lead in their second term. It's second semi-final action. That's not a great start for Warrandyte as Pincott gives away to Whitty. Now Whitty gets it back, kicks out wide, centre wing, commentary side. Kick wasn't all that flash, but it sat up well for Berger, who couldn't take the mark. Cullen.
Well done by Harris.
Tried to get his handball away, held up by Rowe. Got to be holding the ball. So Jake Rowe will win the free kick, 60 from home. Tried to play for the 25. Umpire wasn't having a bar of it. And it now kicks inside forward 50. Magame's the target, got a couple to beat, won't be able to do it. And running back with the flight of the ball, taking a good mark there was Tui.
Tui gets it away to Daly. Now Warrandyte working along the wing position where they've got a little bit of space here as well. He scores us, has a bounce. He might even go for the second here. Short passes on. That was a good one. Gauchi comes out and takes the mark. So about 70 metres out from goal. May as well kick it to the hot spot. Kick goes in towards the direction there of Dunn. Over the top of him it goes. Strong tackle there by Mark Shoulders. Brings the football to ground and we'll have a bounce 35 metres out. Cross down boundary thanks to LifeCare. Esmond Aponso, who was at the Forest Hill huddle.
Key message from Brett Shoulders, just man up, especially the forwards, pressure and cause turnovers.
Appleby tried to release himself out of the stoppage, got trapped, and the umpire says give it back. So about 40 metres out from goal. No clear knockout. Another attempted kick there by Pincott. He's having some sort of a game. Hamish Hosking got released to the football there by Whitty. So a small man stealing off a big man, but the umpire said it was a bounce, so bring it back. They've gone almost 2 minutes here in the second term. It's a 1-point lead to Forest Hill. Keep us up to date around the grounds today on Twitter at Footy EFL. There's plenty of big games that have a lot of shaping for the rest of the season, so we want to hear it and we want to share it. Stoneham got the knockdown. Little quick kick out towards centre half back for Forest Hill. This might end up okay. It was a little bit too crude there on Jake Rowe. It's not, the umpire didn't pay the mark straight away, but then he copped one high, so I think the high is the free kick. And he might have been winded there, Jakey Rowe. Ray Baird's love child, mind you.
Around the grounds, thanks to the local Burger Co. Ball in 4-3-27 lead. North Ringwood 1 behind 1 point. Roval doing it comfortably at the moment over Blackburn at Roval 5-5-35 lead Blackburn 1-1-7. And Doncaster at quarter time 4-4-28. Waverley Blues 4-4-28.
We've got some more here, Dyson, if you've got time.
Go for it, Az.
All right, so East Ringwood 2-3-15, Montrose 2-6-18. The score from Division 3 is an inaccurate Templestowe 2-9-21. They lead the Basin 1 behind at quarter time. Norwood lead Knox by 20 points at quarter time. Noble Park by 5 straight kicks over Lilydale. Also in Division 2, Croydon 1-3-9, Murrelbach 1-4-10. Mulgrave 5-2-32, Scoresby 3-3-21. And Doncaster 6-7-43, Bayswater 1-2-8.
So ball's been knocked over the boundary line. It was Forest Hill surging forward. It's about 45 metres out from goal. Early feelings in this second term, Davo?
It's a bit of an arm wrestle at the moment. They're both teams are making mistakes, but Forest Hill are just hanging in there. I'm really impressed with the way they're going about this, because they've really stopped Warrandyte's run. And again, Nolte got involved in another forward foray. He's a real danger for me.
Well, Forest Hill, they got the knockdown that time. There's a lot of players around this football. Cullen's in there. He's wrapped up Maguire, and the umpire will bounce it very close to the boundary line, 45 metres out from the Forest Hill goal line, who lead by 1 point on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard 4 minutes into the second term. Hosking got the knockdown. Warrandyte might get the advantage here, and they do. The kick goes in towards the middle of the ground. It was a sloppy one and nicely chopped off there by McPherson. Gets the ball out wide. That's okay. On the right boot, who's Pilcher. He got one in the back, so it might be downfield. Tui was there to take the mark, but Pye said he copped one in the back, so it'll actually go back to Pilcher.
Nolte would be livid. He would
No, it is going forward.
Yep. Free
So,
kick to Nolte.
a little bit of confusion out there.
Well, Nolte will be happy.
I think Tui was just trying to waste a bit more time, get a few players flood back.
So it's a different game without Ash Nolte, and he almost didn't play today apparently. So he could get his third early in the second quarter. It's a big effort.
He traditionally wears the long sleeves. He's kicked 2 goals today, 21 for the season. This is a big kick to stretch the lead to 7 points. That is a good-looking kick off the boot, but he just faded it to the left-hand side through for one behind. Forest Hill's second of the afternoon, stretching their lead to 2 points. 5 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Warrandyte at 2-6-18. Forest Hill 3-2-20.
It'll be Harris to take the kick in. As we've seen plenty of times here at Walker Park, decides to go straight down the guts. Looks for a target, can't quite find one. Appleby was at the bottom of the pack. His kick was smothered as he tried to get it moving. Now they find a bit of space. Cullen on centre wing, out of side. Kicks up towards Dunn, went over his head. Still in there, still a chance to get it Froud, although pressure came from Forest Hill. And it's seen over the boundary line and out of bounds in front of Gauchi and Pilcher.
Great work
Around the
from
ground,
McPherson
thanks to the
again.
Go for it, Az.
Around the ground, thanks to the local Burger Co. Wanturna South 4-7-31. Lead Eastfield 3 straight 18. So that percentage gap has closed up to 1.5. Just ahead.
That one will go right down to the wire as Froud marks about 35 metres out from goal directly in front. This to line up for his second of the afternoon and put Warrandyte back in front.
I think it'd be close to his 5th shot at goal.
Very close.
Yeah, say that.
Comes in now. This an important one in the context of the game. Forest Hill with a fair bit of play in his second term. Comes in and sprays it left and through for one behind. So another behind on the board to Ash Froud. His third, his side 7th. They move on to 2-7-19. Forest Hill are 3-2-20. 6 minutes gone, second term. You're listening to Pancake Parlour EFL Game Day.
Do you think the mental battle's starting to get on the players of Warrandyte? You know, the things not quite just going right for them.
If Forest Hill kick the next couple, and they just make it a bit more of a game, I think that's when they start getting a bit nervous.
Yeah, a bit anxious they look at the moment, the Warrandyte players.
God forbid any of the under-19s for Warrandyte would help get the football, then I tell you what. Wensley.
There's 40 players around there. None of them moved when they kicked one over the fence.
They did not move an inch. Wensley kicks it up towards the wing position. Nolte at the back of the pack. He got a little handle on it and he might get it back here. Handball away. Forest Hill work the ball forward up towards about 70 metres out with the grubber kick by Ryan McKenzie, and we'll have a boundary throw in right in front of us here in the grandstand out at Walker Park. What a finals venue it is, and what a game we are seeing today. 1 point the difference. Forest Hill holds sway. Carnelli on the right boot. He took it. He kicked it to the top of the goal square. Well, it was intended for Magamez, but reading the players, he's done pretty well so all day. He's Tui loops a handball out towards the Tout direction, but he's chopped off there by Maguire, who's had a ripper game himself. Gets the handball away to Fisher, who got into a lot of trouble. Brilliant tackle by Chris Tout, brings the ball to ground, and he's been rewarded, and rightfully so. That was an absolute cracker.
It was, and a bit unfortunate for the boy to get the ball and fall over, but it was a great tackle.
Kick goes up towards the wing position, straight through the arms there of Britton. Shoulders was there to get a little handball away and keep the ball alive. We're very close to the boundary line here. Scoots out. Almost knocked through there by Fisher. It eventually comes out towards the 2-2 direction. He takes it, the big man, and he arches the back this way, that way, give a fend off, but still get boot to ball. He kicks it inside forward 50. Carnelli had a fair piece of it, but it was knocked away from him. Magamez came in there, so too was Hookie. Diving low there was Berger. Comes out now to Large, who gets a little handball out, and they have a little bit of space. Norton on the right boot, dumps it up towards centre half forward. A strong attempt there by Evans. He almost got pulled off the football. The umpire said play on, kick back towards half forward, but chopped off by Mark Cullen, who has a cool enough head and the experience to just slow things down here. A dangerous kick though in towards the middle of the ground. It's going to be chopped off here, and Britton takes it. Handball went straight though to Large. He was going one way, then he kicked it to the other, up towards the Dunn direction. It's nicely played there by Oliver Pilcher, who had the front spot, got it away to Tutu. Now Tutu sold a little bit of candy. The big man had it bounce. Look at him go. He kicks it up towards the half forward line. Nicely trapped there by Berger on the right boot. They've got players there's a
That's
plenty.
a brilliant
Nolte,
pass. Wow.
isn't he just finding space this afternoon? Takes the mark about 30 metres out from goal, looking for his third.
Fair too.
That makes you doubt Warrandyte, doesn't
it? It does, definitely does. There's so much space at the back. I don't know what the defence are doing of Warrandyte, but fair too. Had the confidence, has the X factor. He's the type of player that could just change his game in momentum, and it's already happening now.
I think the other thing is that Warrandyte have made some poor choices going forward with their kicking.
Yeah.
That was a poor choice from
Large,
Cullen.
yeah.
They lead by 1. They want to lead by 7, but he got close to the man on the mark, and he drops the football from a long way up to Ash Nolte, and through for his second behind of the afternoon, stretching the lead back to 2 points. Bendigo Bank scoreboard 9.5 minutes into the second term, 3-3-21. The Zebras, the Bloods 2-7-19.
And that's really unusual because Nolte's usually a great kick and Froud's usually a great kick, and they both missed some easy shots.
Cross boundary side, thanks to LifeCare. Esmond?
Just a quick update on number 3, Jack Rowe for the Zebras. Came off a bit groggy. He's feeling a little bit groggy at the present time, but just keeping an eye on him.
They'll have another player coming off very groggy. I think it was Holdsworth who ran straight into fair 2-2. But up the other end of the ground, Froud has marks off the kick from Richardson. And
have a shot, Ash.
Is assessing his options as if he's not going to kick it. We all know he's going to go back and try and slot this one.
Yeah,
man on the market about 40 out.
Train Tutu has just gone through his... oh, my goodness.
So Froud to give Warrandyte back the lead. Another opportunity comes in, and again to the left-hand side. Doesn't hold up. Through from one behind. 2-8 now Warrandyte. They're 20. Forest Hill 3-3-21. I'll tell you what, Fair 2-2 was away.
Yeah.
If he had
Holdsworth was just
confronted his opponent, his teammate in Holdsworth, but unfortunately, nonetheless, 10.5 minutes gone here. Pancake Parlour EFL Game Day, second term of the second semi-final. If you're a Templestowe or the Basin fan, the qualifying final over at Eastfield, Templestowe 2-9-21, lead by 20 points. The Basin one behind 1 point.
Big mistake.
Oh, shoulders, he coughed it up, but he wins the football back, and there's a bit of is there a throw there?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So Warrandyte will have a shot on goal from about 20 metres out. Artie Lamaris, he's the man to go back and put this one through, and well, they're mistakes you just cannot afford, especially when opportunities are lost at the other end.
7-point play.
It's a problem when you're kicking short from your defensive area. You've really got to know. If you don't, it just doesn't work, and they've done it all day, and another turnover.
Lamaris, 17 goals for the year. Make that 18. Straight over the goal umpire's head, and look at the ball run to him. Warrandyte, is that the boost that they needed? They get themselves back in front on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 11 and a half minutes gone here in the second term. 26 plays 21. This is a fantastic game we're seeing out here, boys.
Yeah, fantastic game indeed. And, those critical areas will really cost them. It was just a basic stab kick that he executed, where you just needed to kick through it, and that's, it's the simple things that get the job done. And on that occasion, they pay the ultimate price to Forest Hill.
Around the grounds, thanks to the local burger co, Waverley Blues lead Doncaster by a point. So the live ladder's got Doncaster East in third and Waverley Blues in fourth, with Bayswater out at the moment.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
The contested possession 16-12 in favour of Forest Hill, uncontested 16-10 their way.
Warrandyte now a chance as they gain possession. Handball came out wide to tout further wide now to Lamaris. Sorry, that was Gauchi. Kicks inside forward, 50, looking for Froud, can't quite find him. Plenty of options at the bottom of the pack. Well, the Forest Hill cavalry arrives, and it's held up about 20 metres out from the Warrandyte goal. They lead by 5 points. 12.5 minutes gone in this second term. Ball thrown up once again. Good tap down. To no real advantage, but it'll come back. Plenty of numbers around here just outside 50. Gauchi, the man, tries to get it away. Whitty dove into his back. Umpire said no. Short chip kick from Norton.
Good.
Found its target in Scorsese. Probably went about 4.5 metres. Scorsese over the top and finds his teammate there in Lamaris.
Tell you what, sorry guys. The Hippel West boys, they really look out for each other, don't they? Scorsese to Lamaris on that occasion, but Gauchi's also been involved with Scorsese as well. They really do look for each other.
So Lamaris can line up for two in the space of a minute or so and open up this lead. 13.5 minutes second term.
And again, that's all been through their footwork and their speed, and their leg speed's really been important in this last 5 minutes.
This one to start put the pressure on the Zebras. A little bit hop, skip and a jump. Does well left, but manages to put the ball straight through the middle of the big sticks. And the second goal on the board to Artie Lamar, second in this term. And Warrandyte, 4-8-32, now lead by 11 points. Forest Hill, 3-3-21. 14 minutes gone, second term EFL game day.
Has a bit of the Buddy Franklin's about him when he lines up for goal. Gets a bit of that hop, skip, jump and that arc to really pull it back. But look, I mean, it doesn't matter how you kick him as long as you go through. And Artie Lamar has had, he's had an excellent 5 minutes of football.
Certainly.
I think the other thing is that Warrandyte at the moment have got probably 3 or 4 options to go to. It just seems to be Nolte down at Forest Hill because McGarmes and Carnelli have really not done much at all.
Well, speak of the devil, Carnelli at the front spot. Not
always going to happen.
The commentary, David.
25. I heard another whistle.
Nolte's been downed off the play. And
high
elbow.
Signaling. Yeah, he is.
Well,
I think it's either Appleby or Tui. Just waiting for him.
Looks like Tui it was. So he's been told to go away from the situation. So maybe a little bit of Tiggy Touchwood happening behind play with Nolte hitting the deck, but he's ginger in his get-up, but he'll go back and have a shot on goal. He kicked 2 straight goals and then he's kicked 2 behind, so this is a huge kick.
I've got to say, Nolte and Frale could have had 10 between them by now. So, yeah, look, he's a bit groggy, so you often see these ones miss, but he'd do excellent to get this one through.
So Ash Nolte to reduce the margin back to 5 points. He comes in now. He leans over the ball. He might have snuck this one through. We saw the Warrandyte boys go to their last goal kicker in Lamaris, and look at them get around Ash Nolte now, who copped one for his troubles, but puts his 3rd on the board for the Forest Hill Football Club, moving them on to 4-3 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 27, Warrandyte 4-8-32.
Now, that's an interesting one. Is that a down the field free kick? Or if he's been hit, then why isn't he sent off?
Not too sure why wouldn't you be sent off.
Good point.
Yeah, so it's either out of play or it's in play, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Alas, it made what was a ball 60 metres out an almost certain goal and puts Forest Hill right back in this game. 4-3 plays 4-8. We're back in the middle of Walker Park. Tap down and really a nil-all draw. Burkett boots it forward. Now a chance for Nolte. Couldn't take the mark. Evans at the bottom of the pack. Carnelli round the body. Up to the top of the goal square. 2-2 will meet it. And the ball spills over the boundary line and out of bounds. You just feel like that goal may have just amped up this Forest Hill side a little bit more. After with 2 straight goals to Warrandyte, we thought they were just starting to creep away.
Around the grounds, thanks to local Burgo, Doncaster 5-4-34, back in front of the Waverley Blues 4-5-29, Doncaster East 9-7-61, lead Bayswater 3-3-21. The Waters need to be careful because they're dropping percentage this afternoon, and that could, if Waverley Blues stay close to Doncaster, they could sneak in on percentage.
All the ramifications and machinations of this afternoon's games with Aaron Kirkby-Ruddy back in the studio, back out here at Walker Park. Ball's right up hard against the point post at the Forest Hill end of the ground. And umpire calls for it. We'll have another ball up. Goal here would be handy. Put Forest Hill back in front at the 17-minute mark. Thrown up, punch forward from hand just to try and clear a bit of space. Oh, Hosking. Try and clear a bit of space, went over the boundary line and out of bounds.
So with that Nolte one before, so if it's holding the man inside 50, they'll pay the free kick. So maybe it wasn't crude enough to warrant to be sent off, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you said, it looked like the umpire was sort of suggesting that there was a raised elbow as Rowe tries to pull it away. Now it goes 50 metres out from that Forest Hill goal.
Boundary.
Cross boundary side thanks to LifeCare. Lockie?
Yeah, Forest Hill seem to be looking still a bit nervous. I feel like they need another goal just to get back into the game and boost their confidence a bit.
Doing a great job, our LifeCare boundary riders. Hand had the front spot over the top there. Stoneham. Ball's released. Warrandyte. Little handball out wide. That's okay. McAdam can run onto it. He couldn't trap the football. Nice little handball there out wide there by Pincott. Now on the left boot they go inside forward 50. The Zebras. Rowe was there. It was knocked away nicely there by Harris. 2-2 was in there. Rowe goes after it again. Little push over the boundary line by Hookie. Just to say you didn't win the football, and we'll have a bounce. Boundary throwing, I should say, about 45 metres out. It's on the paint grandstand side of Walker Park. At the back of the pack, well, Hand, he almost got one on it, and it came out to Rowe, who snaps it around the body. This is a big kick in the end. He got a fair bit of purchase from a standing start, but he hooked it to the left-hand side, so through for a behind, which edges them closer on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They're 4 points down, Forest Hill. Warrandyte lead 4-8-32 to 4-4-28, almost into time on in this second term.
Finally the ball's returned once again as Harris picks it up to do the kicking duties once again. Decides long down the centre of the ground, Hosking the target. Cavalry arrived for the Zebras. Nice tackle there to wrap up his opponent O'Sullivan. And the ball's held up almost in the centre of Walker Park.
Clearance is 8-4 over Forest Hill this quarter, thanks to Choose Tap.
Sharp as always, Grant Campbell, all thanks to Yarra Valley Water and Choose Tap.
It is delicious.
It certainly is. Ball comes out the back, Daly gave away to Ansaldi. Under a lot of pressure now, they find a bit of space here. Oliver up towards half forward, looking for Dunn, but trying to be smart about it. And Britton can mark for Forest Hill. Gives away to Burkett. Burkett's kick wasn't all that flash. Put Whitty under a lot of pressure. Had 3 to beat, and now McAdam takes possession. Kicks up towards half forward. He turned it over once again. Numbers around here favour Forest Hill, but there'll be a holding free kick. Got to make it a bit less obvious than that, Gareth Britton. And they'll go inside forward 50 through Richardson, who finds his target, and potentially 25, Luke Dunn. Umpire says it was in the marking contest, so Dunn from 45 degree angle, about 35 out, can go line up for his first of the afternoon.
Great effort by Richardson there. He was 2-on-1 there. He managed to get the spoil in, and just his second effort was able to get the ball, drew the high tuck on the free kick. So if Dunn gets it through, it's Richardson's goal.
Hardest pocket on the ground out near the tennis club here at Walker Park. Comes in now and has made it look very easy, has Luke Dunn. And he has his second. Warrandyte moved to 5-8-38, a 10-point lead over Forest Hill, 4-4-28 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Time on second term, second semi-final Division 4.
That's where, you know, if you're going to leave your man and try and impact a contest, Britton tried to impact the contest, didn't impact it.
Yep.
His man then scooted away behind the contest. Ball turns over, gets an easy inside. So that's where you've got to make that decision. If you're going to impact it, you've really got to do that.
Finally, Magama is into the middle of the ground for Forest Hill. It's only taken a quarter and a half.
Well, we haven't heard too much of him, that's for sure. Hosking goes up against Stoneham. Speak of the devil, Magama's got the handball out wide looking for McKenzie. Didn't hit the target. Nicely done there by Gauchi to Scorsese, who was brilliantly tackled and brought down. Umpire said holding the ball. That was a great tackle there by Alston, but Shoulders won the advantage. Kicked it in towards the middle of the ground. It was knocked away that time by O'Sullivan. He goes after it again, stacks on the Miller. Solid tackle there by Pilcher. It scoots out wide, picked up by O'Sullivan, who drops the football. You are gone, son. And a brilliant tackle there by Jacob Daly. He'll win the football here, and he'll have a chance to send his side forward. He's on the far side of Walker Park. True centre wing position. 2 good kicks away from goal, so the kick goes up towards the Dunn direction. It was knocked away that time there by McPherson. At the bottom of the pack, Tommy Norton. Wrapped up by McPherson and co, and we'll have a bounce just inside the arc here, 40 metres out from goal.
Go, Gadget Arms there, just got it in again. He's amazing. He's undersized. He just rarely gets outmarked, McPherson.
Forest Hill from the stoppage. Quick kick out towards the wing position. Hosking, the big man for Warrandyte. Former Lion, former Cougar, sees the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Around the grounds, thanks to the local burger code, Doncaster now out to a 20-point lead midway through the second term. Doncaster East is still leading comfortably over Bayswater by 45 points.
Well, 2-2 cut across the front in the end and got a handle on it and got the knockout, and he's been paid a free kick, so unconvinced of that one because he did come from behind. There's the kick by 2-2, goes inside forward 50, looking for Nolte. He's been around everything. Carnelli, another chance to snap around the body. He is not putting his hand up for 25 free smackers from Westfield Knox. He pushes it to the right-hand side for a minor score. 23 minutes gone here in the second term, and it is a 9-point lead to Warrandyte. 5-8-38, Forest Hill 4-5-29.
Need to get Matt Carnelli playing out of the goal square. Getting him leading up at the footy.
Yeah, I think their whole structure's been turned around a bit. They really don't seem comfortable with their structure apart from Nolte in that outside. He's about 30 metres out. The rest of it's all been mixed up, and I don't think they're feeling comfortable themselves yet.
Kick out from Harris once again, long down the middle of Walker Park. A couple of flies from the back, no one able to take the mark. Pincott at the bottom of the pack, wrapped up by 3 Bloods, going nowhere. 50 out from his attacking goal.
Doncaster East by 45 points, thanks to the local burger company against the Bayswater Football Club.
Ball thrown up once again, 2-2. Free kick from paid out, will go the way of Warrandyte. Too high, and the free kick going the way of Hosking. to see one of us is focusing on the game at hand.
Multitasking, I would call it.
Hosking up towards centre wing. Warrandyte have the numbers out the back. Great handball there from Cullen. Found Norton. Inside 50, found Froud. Again, that metre and a half difference. Hard up in the pocket, kicks to the top of the goal square. All empty, and a great mark taken there by Tom Appleby. And he can line up and open this margin up once again with the 6th goal on the board for the Bloods.
The difference is that the way they're able to bring the ball there, again, it was their foot speed and their quickness of the movement of the football that got it in there. Forest Hill have just been, getting it in there whatever way they possibly can.
7 marks inside 50 to 1 this quarter in favour of Warrandyte.
Appleby lines up. Pretty straightforward kick this one. And makes no mistake off the left boot. 6 on the board for Warrandyte. They lead this game at 6-8-44. Forest Hill 4-5-29. 25 minutes gone. Second term EFL Game Day brought to you by the Pancake Parlour.
It's funny, you feel like Forest Hill sent a bit more of the ball than they did in the first quarter, yet they're not performing as well, at least on the scoreboard. So it's funny how footy can work. But look, for Forest Hill, it's not your panic stations, but if they can just reel one in before half-time, it would still keep them in a really good position going to the second half.
It would, but if Warrandyte kick another one in the next minute, then it's certainly going to be a hard road back for Forest Hill.
Especially with Warrandyte's second halves, they've been absolutely fantastic. They've only dropped 6 quarters in the whole season, so it's a big stat.
Free kick for a centre square infringement will go the way of Hosking for Warren. No,
we're having a restart.
Having a restart.
Interesting.
So Hosking to go up against 2-2.
Cullen almost got caught in the square again.
Hosking got the knockdown that time, Soupy. Forest Hill had the numbers around the football. Overrunning it there was McKenzie, but he's in there to hand it back to the umpire. And there any half-time scores coming through around the grounds thanks to the local burger company, Aaron Kirkby Rodia?
Nothing concrete yet, mate. Blackburn have got back to a 6-point ball game out against Rowville after trailing by more than 5 goals at quarter time. I'll keep you updated. We've got Norwood also leading by 20 points close to half-time.
So ball in the true centre of Walker Park. High throws it up now. Hosking has again got the knockdown. Little grubber kick that went 2 metres. It's anyone's football. Handball comes out to the large direction. And he's held up and will have another bounce. Very important that Forest Hill kick the next goal.
Or at least don't concede the next goal.
Pye throws it up. Well, looked like Hosking got that, but it favoured the way of Forest Hill. Harris's little handball back to looking for the scores' direction. It dropped off here by the Zebras, and they kick the ball inside forward 50. Nolte uses his body brilliantly. Well, isn't he having a day out this afternoon? Going back to have a shot on goal for his 4th, and we know he's already kicked a couple of behinds, but geez, this is such an important kick.
And that's an interesting move. They put Evans down onto Nolte because he was a little bit too good. I think it was for Oliver, but so now Evans is there, and he's just a clever body user, and that was just what that was. He kicks this. You're right, back in it again.
Nolte from 35 metres out. That is a beautiful kick, and it goes straight through the middle for Forest Hill's 5th goal of the afternoon. Ash Nolte has 4 of those 5 goals, so he's having a day out. 5-5-35 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, trailing by 9 points to Warrandyte, 6-8-44.
They're just hanging in, aren't they? They're not going away. That's the difference.
That's all they need to do.
They're not going away.
Cross boundary side, thanks to LifeCare Croydon. Esmond.
Zebra supporters on the boundary line, finding voice and also finding belief that their team can get up this afternoon.
Mulgrave leading Scoresby by 23 points in the second term in Division 2.
Ball back in the middle, held up. We'll have a secondary ball up. Almost 28 minutes gone. Can't be too much longer left in the first half here of this second semi-final clash. 22 minutes gone out at Rowville. Rowville 6-6-42. Blackburn 6-6-42. So none of those results. I don't think Rowville can really change position at all. But I'm sure they'd like to go into the first week of the finals with a win to their name in round 18. Once again in the centre of the ground. There's a high free kick going the way of Forest Hill. And it will be Holdsworth. Blood rule. Blood rule?
Yeah, can't rub it away, mate.
He's rubbing his leg trying to convince the umpire that it wasn't there anymore. Once the blood rule's called, you have to actually physically go off the ground.
He won't be happy about this at all.
So
It's a stat he could have got.
Matt Whitty comes on, and Fia Tutu will take the free kick. Probably a better result as he just roosts it inside forward 50, about 10 metres out from goal. Plenty of options there. Carnelli couldn't take the mark. Ball spills over the back of the pack. Ciclona couldn't make the most of it, and it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds right in front of the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, which reads Warrandyte 6-8-44, Forest Hill 5-5-35. 29 minutes gone. Choose tap match stats thanks to Yarra Valley Water. Grant Campbell.
The clearances is called a 13-6 now in favour of Forest Hill.
58-point lead to Donny East.
I think you took the words right out of Aaron Kirby's mouth.
Pye brings the ball back in. Hosking versus Nolte. It's deep in the Forest Hill forward line. Knocked through 4-1 behind. Minor score is the result. And that is 6 now for the Forest Hill Football Club on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 5-6-36, 8 points in arrears of Warrandyte. 6-8-44 as the mark's been taken by Oliver from the kick in. Gets himself out to the defensive arc and then thumps it up towards a wing position. Over the top there of Dunn's head. He had in there for sport was Tui, but Tutu came in and copped one high. He's having a good game for Tutu.
Yeah, he is. Did really well on the ruck.
Winds up now and he goes for a barrel, which ended up being a sausage roll towards the Carnelli direction. The ball did a wronger on him, so it fell into the arms there of Evans. Little handball back, that was okay. Up towards the wing position, standing strong and having an okay game is Tom Appleby. You almost should have got 25 there for a little nudge. The umpire said it was fair as the siren sounds to announce half-time out here in the second semi-final between Warrandyte and Forest Hill. And it's a great game we are seeing as well, with the Bloods, who finished on top of the table after the home and away season, leading by 8 points at half-time on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 6-8-44 to Forest Hill 5-6-36. The major goal kickers on the ground, Lamaris and Dunn have 2 for the Bloods, while Ash Nolte, a lone hand up forward, has 4 goals out of 5 for the ZEBRAS. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio East and is streaming live around the globe on EFL.org.au. Keep us up to date around the grounds. There's plenty of great games at your hashtag Love It Local this afternoon around the East. We want to hear them. We want to share them. It's time to go back to Aaron Kirkby Radio in the Radio Eastern studios, and we'll be back with all the halftime entertainment right after this.
Okay, boys. It's time we got ourselves a big advantage this weekend.
I'm not going to tank, Coach.
No, who said anything about tanking? It's what you'll save in the tank. I want you all to go out and get a breeze tag. Use Eastlink. You'll be at the ground faster and fresher, and you'll save fuel too.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
Program sponsor.
EFL.org.au is a must visit for the die-hard Eastern Football League fan. In our news section, check out the latest news, feature articles and video programs, including the Inside Football Friday preview. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos. Best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. To go live and local for your footy, head to EFL.org.au.
The inside of a cake can have many layers. On the outside, it's hidden behind a coat of icing. But when you cut out a slice, all is exposed. At Tobin Brothers Funerals, nothing is hidden. Our website and Memory Maker app make it clear for families to make informed decisions about planning a funeral for a loved one. That's an example of how Tobin Brothers Funerals is taking transparency to new levels. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
For comprehensive EFL video coverage, head to efl.org.au and check out our EFL TV portal. Don't miss The Agenda every week for all the latest news from right around the Eastern Football League. And you can get involved by voting for your favourite EFL Play of the Week. EFL TV, love it local 24/7 at efl.org.au.
Hey man. Yeah man, it's crunch time. Is that footy speak? Nah man, it's crunch time at Pancake Parlour with the salted caramel crunch. Oh, yeah, house-made warm salted caramel sauce and roasted almonds on 2 buttermilk pancakes topped with vanilla ice cream. Yeah man, it's crunch time at the G and then it's crunch time at Pancake Parlour. So this is footy speak then? I'm just saying man, like the salted caramel crunch would be great to have after a day at the footy. Oh, Pancake Parlour open 24 hours, High Point, Malvern and Doncaster East. Lovely.
Program sponsor.
Love it local and keep your radio dial locked on 98.1 Radio Eastern. EFL Game Day kicks off at 1 every Saturday as the EFL Media Team bring you all the EFL Game Day action, thanks to the Pancake Parlour. On Sunday, tune in from 10 for Crocs Play Centre's EFL Sunday for a complete review of all the senior EFL matches. Wednesday night from 6, tune in to The Huddle with Paul Semasides, Aaron Kirkby-Rodia and Will Taylor for a lighter look at the EFL. Love it local this season on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to
Radio here in the Radio Eastern Studios. I'll try and give you a couple of scores before we head back out to the boys at Walker Park for the big game. And currently there at half-time, it's Warrandyte leading 6-8-44 to Forest Hill 5-6-36. We've still got scores filtering through as our game days are slightly ahead of other games this afternoon. In Division 1, half-time, East Ringwood 5-6-36, Trail Montrose 6-10-46. Knox 6-2-38, Trail Norwood 8-5-53. Last scores that we had from Blackburn and Rowville was 6-6-42 apiece. Rowville not scoring yet in the second term, and Blackburn kicking 5 unanswered goals there. Noble Park at half-time 12-7-79, lead Lilydale 3-4-22. North Ringwood 1-2-8, Trail Bourne 9-5-59. Mulgrave 9-4-58, lead Scoresby 6-6-42. Doncaster 7-9-51, lead the Waverley Blues 4-8-32. And Wanturna South 14-8-92, lead East Build 3-4-22. And I'll try and get a couple of scores coming through, boys, as we go on, if you're out there at Walker Park.
We sure are, and it's time for the Polish Head halftime show. You stitched me right up Aaron Kirkby-Rodia because play the intro music and then threw me off as you started talking, but alas, we'll move on.
Sorry, mate.
I'm just complaining over nothing, don't worry. As I usually do.
Just a bit angry about the Waverley Blues?
No, there's still a half a footy to play, mate.
No, there isn't. Look,
I remain 100% unbiased.
I will keep you updated because percentage is becoming a real problem for Bayswater. It's not too much of a worry yet, but if the Waverley Blues can have a decent second half, it will be for the Waters.
Certainly, and before we get Clint Stanaway on the line, we might get all the first half stats from Grant Campbell, thanks to the Yarra Valley Water.
In that second quarter, Forest Hill had 18 hit-outs to 12 that helped them win the clearances 14-6, including 6-1 out of the centre. And they're on top in the contested possessions, with Forest Hill having 35-25. Warrandyte having 23-19 uncontested possessions, so both of those were reversed from the first quarter. Inside 50 count went Forest Hill's way, 12-11, but Warrandyte were able to mark the ball inside 50 far more often, having 7 marks inside 50 to Forest Hill with just the 2. So it's a pretty evenly poised game, but you suggest if Warrandyte gets so many marks inside 50, they'll run away with in the second half, considering they've won 15 third and 15 final quarters this season.
Time now to find out what's happening right around the country and around the world in the 9 newsroom. And Clint Stanaway joins us on the line. An interesting game going on at the MCG, Clint.
Yeah, let's start right there. And Richmond lead it by 44 points. You'd have to say Collingwood been in the game but pretty inaccurate and wasteful going forward. Dusty Martin, he's had the ball on a string, and unless something changes quickly, you'd imagine the Tigers will record their 13th win of the season. Up in Sydney, meanwhile, no Buddy Franklin again, but the Swans, they're doing it fairly easily at half-time against the Giants. They should win and should bounce back into the top 4 tonight. Elsewhere around the state, 2 hikers been located after going missing in rugged bushland in the state's far east. A terror attack has been foiled on a French train after 2 US Marines overpowered a gunman. This is an interesting one. A former SAS soldier running for the federal seat of Canning has defended himself over allegations he ordered soldiers to cut off the hands of dead Taliban soldiers. And tributes are flowing for cricketing legend Arthur Morris, one of Bradman's invincibles, of course. He passed away aged 93. In sport, plenty happening. The fallout from Luke Hodges' bump on Chad Wingard. Will he get weeks? The latest from the Ashes. England on the ropes after Peter Siddle. He answered his doubters overnight. And we meet the golfer who popped the question on the 16th green. He missed the cut, but still went home a winner. We'll have those stories and more with Alicia Loxley, Beck Judd and myself tonight at 6.
We look forward to it. Make sure you tune into Channel 9 this evening. Thanks very much to Clint Stanaway. Plenty going on right around the world, and we always thank Channel 9 for their support. On more local terms, this game is in a bit of a holding pattern at the moment. No side able to really gain ascendancy. Whenever Warrandyte seem to get 2 goals up, Forest Hill just seem to have that reply. But it's got that feeling that within the next quarter, that one side's going to kick 6 and completely break the game open.
Yeah, I think that's the way it does feel, and I think of all the sides that do that, it's probably Warrandyte's way. We've seen during the year they've had the break on everybody in their third and final quarters, but to Forest Hill's credit, they're just hanging in there. They just they seem to find a goal when they're least expected, and that's one of those things that in a final, when it gets tight, if this is still the same margin with 10 minutes to go in the last quarter, absolutely anything can happen. So, I think Warrandyte will come out and play some pretty good football. They have played well to get the lead back, but anything can happen at this stage.
Yeah, you feel like...
Boys, sorry, just quickly, Dyson.
51 apiece.
Have done it again in the second half of the second term. They've gone in at half-time only trailing by a point. So they've kicked 3 goals late again. It's Doncaster at 7-9-51 and the Waverley Blues far behind 7-8-50. So that's an absolute cracking game at the moment. I'm just waiting for the East Burwood scores to come through, and I'll give you a live ladder in Division 2 shortly.
I was going to keep my powder dry and just wait until Benoit and Smith walk back into the commentary box up here in the grandstand. Brash back with us after spending the warm-up with us. You've watched the game and witnessed the same machinations as we have, and like I said, one side just needs to get on top, because if this becomes a slog, I reckon that probably plays more in favour of Forest Hill.
Exactly, Dyson. But I'll tell you one thing. I reckon Coach Michael Tout will absolutely be filthy with his side at half time. I think their half-forward line has tried to play like millionaires, trying to kick around corners and not playing with any direction. Tommy Norton, Trent Scorsese and Arthur Lamaris can hold their heads high because they're putting their head over the ball, and they're certainly giving their side every opportunity to put the score on the board. The Warrandyte forward line, led by Ash Frowder, let them down in accuracy. I think Frowdy's kicked 2 goals, 1 goal 4. So they need more out of him. I just think kudos to Mark Shoulders and his game attack, because he has managed to stop Warrandyte's run, and the thing is, when Warrandyte have turned the ball over, Davo, they Forest Hill have made them pay.
Yeah, without a doubt, and we noticed a couple of times, especially early on, they got caught behind the play, behind the contest, and Nolty got out and got those cheap, easy ones, and even the goal that he kicked when the down the field one, unnecessary for what Warrandyte did. So.
Well, they were looking at, that potentially was a 12-point play, because, they were looking at going into their forward line and being probably 21 points up, and then they get the goal to bring it back down to 9 points.
Yep, exactly. And again, it's you look at Warrandyte, you think it's just going to happen. There's a switch is going to be flicked and away they go, but it's just not being flicked at the moment. And I think that's where you've got to give credit to Forest Hill. They're just hanging in there the whole time.
Yeah, you just feel like Warrandyte's stuck in second gear a bit, but it's Forest Hill that are making them stall, so to speak. And you look at I think both sides have upsides though. Like, if Warrandyte can get their ball movement going, they could easily run away with it. But conversely, we're speaking off air before, Bretto, about Carnelli and Magames not really being in the game. If you can get both or even one of them into the game, that changes things, and they're only 8 points down, and both of those players, they're match winners, and they could be the reason why they win today.
With Magames, right, I think he's the sort of player that you've got to keep on the ground. He's better, right, when he's able to run around and dictate. I noticed Mark Shoulders has taken him on and off every 5-10 minutes in rotation. I don't think that works in Kane Magames' favour. Matt Carnelli's been well held by Lewis Oliver. I think Lewis Oliver's doing a really solid job on him, but I just feel that with you just feel like that Warrandyte are ready to bust the game open, where I think Forest Hills are relying way too much on Nolte to kick a winning score, and sooner or later the ball's not going to come down.
I think if look, I put my coach's hat on. If I say what do I do to get us back in, I'd go Magames to the wing.
Yep.
I'd throw 2-2 forward. I'd put Carnelli up high and Nolte up high. You put 2-2 in the goal square, one out. it scares everybody because you just don't know what he's going to do. You got Magames, he can kick the ball over lines, get it down there quickly. It may be that's something that just gives them that spark.
We'll wrap up here on the Pie Shed halftime show. Make sure you go down and see Mark and the team on your way home if you're out and about this afternoon. I'm hoping we can see Mark in the next couple of weeks when we're out at Bayswater and Baronia, and maybe he can help us out. 295 Canterbury Road in Bayswater. Call 97207711. Forest Hill are out on the ground, so we might cross back to the studio, and Aaron Kirkby ready to clear some sponsor message before a massive second half. It's the second semi-final in Division 4, all thanks to the Pancake Parlour. Warrandyte by 8 points.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man.
Can you smell it?
Smell what?
It's my favourite smell in the world. Footy season.
Yeah, man, like you can smell the grass at the Mighty G.
Yeah, and you know what else I can smell? The hot marshmallow chocolate at Pancake Parlour.
They're like my favourite smells ever. Like first you head to the G and smell the grass, and then after you've chewed your guts out, head straight to Pancake Parlour and warm up with a delicious hot marshmallow chocolate.
Oh, it's made with pure Belgian chocolate. Seriously decadent.
Oh, Pancake Parlour, open 24 hours, High Point, Malvern and Doncaster East. Lovely.
Program sponsor.
EFL.org.au is a must-visit for the die-hard Eastern Football League fan. In our news section, check out the latest news, feature articles and video programs, including the Inside Football Friday preview. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos. Best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. To go live and local for your footy, head to efl.org.au.
It's difficult to see through a dirty window, but once you clean it, you can clearly see the view. Tobin Brothers Funerals is just like a clean window. Its easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app are so transparent, you don't need to clear the cobwebs to find the information you need. It's all there for you to see and make an informed decision when planning a loved one's funeral. Download Tobin Brothers Memory Maker app today. It's free from iTunes and Google Play. Or find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Love it local and keep your radio dial locked on 98.1 Radio Eastern. EFL Gameday kicks off at 1 every Saturday as the EFL Media Team bring you all the EFL Gameday action, thanks to the Pancake Parlour. On Sunday, tune in from 10 for Crocs Play Centre's EFL Sunday for a complete review of all the senior EFL matches. Wednesday night from 6, tune in to The Huddle with Paul Semasides, Aaron Kirkby-Rodia and Will Taylor for a lighter look at the EFL. Love it local this season on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Good news, boys. It's 20% off to travel on Eastlink on weekends and public holidays with a car tag. So, with the money you'll save, you'll have enough.
Enough for what, Coach?
My birthday present next week, and I have my eye on some sparkly gold footy boots with some pandas on them.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
In sparkly boots.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to Walker Park here in Mitcham. And at both sides just starting to walk out two positions for what should be a huge second half. It's currently Warrandyte 6-8-44, Forest Hill 5-6-36. And as a few of the boys just polish off the burgers that were kindly brought up to us by the Mitcham Footy Club, we get underway for this second half. As I mentioned, an 8-point lead in favour of Warrandyte. Goal kickers, Nolte with 4. The leading goal kicker on the ground as I try and catch my breath from running up here at the last minute. Burkett's kicked 1 for Forest Hill, while Lamaris has 2, Dunn has 2. Singles to Froud and Appleby, although Froud's had numerous opportunities to try and put this game beyond doubt. Andy Paolacci.
Yeah, it's been a it's been a fantastic first half of football. One that I really enjoyed with Forest Hill, really taking it up to them. They have been second best in some areas, and they would acknowledge that. But the fact that they're still in it, that they're only 8 points down, that there's plenty of upside in terms of players that haven't really been in the clash thus far. It'll give them every bit of confidence that they can, arrest the deficit and bring home a victory. But for Warrandyte, it's just about that ball movement, getting it fluent again, and they'll be right for it.
Underway in the second half. We'll cross back shortly to Aaron Kirkby, who has a live Division 2 ladder. Plenty to play out in that one throughout the second half of games going on right across the Eastern Football League. First clearance goes the way of Warrandyte, but it's marked by Pilcher on half back. Oh, sorry, it's Pincott. Both blonde, both look identical. Kick short. Moved it to the centre of the ground. Now the kick up towards half forward. Leading target there was McGarmis. Had to punch from the back. Punched her right into the hands of a teammate in Whitty. His disposal was interesting. Turned it over. And now a ball up right in the centre of Walker Park.
No changes to the Forest Hill structure, so they've gone with what they did in the first half.
Their man up there was Burkett, who just tried to punch it forward. No avail though. We'll have yet another ball up. Both sides just work each other out for the second half. Thrown up once again. Hosking this time gets a big punch forward. Pilcher was there. Whitty gave his handball away, found a teammate, and now they can run out of defence. Nice kick, gained valuable meterage up towards centre wing commentary side. So you feel like we said during the halftime break, you feel like one of these sides is ready to tear the game apart. It's just a matter of when and where and who does it. As 2-2 tries to punch forward, Whitty overran the footy. And nice tackle there laid by McCarty. Pushes his opponent up.
Well, Evans has gone back forward and Oliver's gone back onto Norton.
This time Hand gets the ball away. Whitty goes inside forward 50. First to meet it here will be Nolte. Under a lot of pressure, gave his handball to Holdsworth. Kick wasn't flash, intended for Pincott. They'll run it out here, Warrandyte. Cullen, hard up against the boundary line, just manages to keep it in, but it turns it over, in fact, and finds shoulders. The kick short, only just gets under the hands of Burkett, who plays on centre wing commentary side. Now gets it inside forward 50. Nolte's got a few to beat, and it can't do so. Turns it over. Oliver takes the mark inside defence. 50 and 25.
Too close to the man of mark. He just encroached.
There's no chance for Nolte then. They got the ball, they went inside, and then they decided to come back outside and kick it straight up in the air. You know, just a poor kick into the forward arse.
Not smart. So the ball in the hands of Oliver. Kicks to the outer side. Burkett outmuscled his opponent beautifully. Had a great game so far. Kick short, finds Pincott on centre wing.
He's been good.
Been sensational so far. The James medalist from last year. One of three playing on the ground at the moment. Imagine that. Inside 50 again. Carnelli the target, but going back with the flight of the ball then was David Hand, who kicks short, finds Harris 50 out from defensive goal.
So Harris, we know we've got a good boot on him because he kicks in from most behinds, up towards the wing position, taken by Tutu, had a little bit of space, and up and under kick, up towards the Carnelli, to Nolte direction. It was knocked away from him, straight through the arms there of Appleby. Ball hits the deck, players form around it and on it, and we'll have a bounce inside the centre square. Let's cross down boundary side, thanks to LifeCare, Lachie Munro.
Yes, the wind's died down now, and it's perfect conditions out here. The sun's also out, so hoping for a free-flowing game of footy.
First time I've seen him without a beanie this season, Lachie Munro, lapping up the sunshine as the ball comes out. Norton, little handball out wide. Here's Cullen, linked up well there with Scorsese. Handballs are plenty here for the Bloods as they surge themselves forward. It goes forward there from Richardson up towards that Dunn direction. Didn't have the front spot. That's beautiful play there by McPherson. He read the ball beautifully, had this front spot and took it like a forward in the end. Gets the handball off towards the Burkett direction, out towards Tutu, who has Tommy Norton right on his hammer, almost holding without the football. Norton wins the football and taken by Tutu. A good battle, small versus big, and we'll have a bounce about 75 metres out from the Warrandyte goal line. It was in fact a free kick to Norton in the end as they surged the ball forward. Dunn used his body beautifully and takes the mark about 25 metres out from goal, almost directly in front, and he'll be shooting for his third, Andy.
He'd really enjoy that one because he was beaten before by a very confident and high-marking McPherson, and this time he just had the sit, well, not so much the sit, but it was kicked to his favour, to his advantage, and he just leant on him, found the space, and took the mark. He's just going to kick the goal.
Taking a fair old run up too. He only marked it about 25 out from goal. Starts from 40, comes in and makes no mistake. Over the goal umpire's head it goes. Warrandyte have 7 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 7 goals, 8-50 lead Forest Hill 5-6-36. It's a margin of 14 points as we cross the 5-minute mark of the premiership quarter.
And again, an unnecessary free kick. There was a nothing contest out wide. It should have just been a ball up, but Tutu just laid a clumsy tackle, brought the ball in, and that was just clever body work again by Dunn. Very, very clever. Evans is playing centre forward. He looks like a player that hasn't played a lot of footy this year. He seems to be running under the football, not getting involved. So interesting to see what they do with him.
Ladder, boys.
Yes, go for it, Az.
In Division 2, currently sits Doncaster still on top. Croydon, Doncaster East third. Bayswater still sit in fourth, but they had an 8% gap on Waverley at the start of the day. That's closed to about 2.1%. So that's starting to become a real issue for the Waters. But we also haven't had a half-time score from Wanturna South and East Build. But based on that, East Build hang on by 1.4% in Division 2 currently.
Doing a great job, Aaron Kirkby-Rodia, this afternoon. It's all happening, isn't it, as the ball comes into the arms of Tim Hookey, who's brought to ground by a fierce Kane Magame's tackle, who's hasn't had a lot of the football today. He'll be looking to step things up in this second half. He is a big-time player as the umpire throws it up 2-2. Got the knockdown, a little bit of a fresh air shot there. Cullen went in after it. He was brought to ground by a good Christian Holdsworth tackle and will have a bounce just forward here for Forest Hill. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming the game live or around the globe on efl.org.au.
Streaming now, we finally worked out a few teething issues.
You press play.
Is that how YouTube works?
YouTube's playing funny buggers with their links with us, but we finally got it up and running during half-time.
On the bottom of the pack, Chris Tout tries to get rid of the footy and umpire comes in and will bounce it once again. So the ball has not moved in the last minute. 3 stoppages. Handy 14-point lead to the Warrandyte Football Club. Pai throws it up now. Well, a big fly from over the back sees Warrandyte send themselves forward. He scores as he fell down at the crucial stage, but he copped one high on his way down, so he'll take that. There's no doubt about that. Short passes on towards the Froud direction. It was almost too hard for him to pick up on. Saldi on the left boot. Short pass. Oh, it was a beautiful kick, and diving down low was the big man Lee Evans, and he'll have a shot for goal about 30 metres out. Not a difficult angle at all.
Well, and Saldi did exactly what was expected of him as a crumbing player. Froud brought the ball down. It was always going to be a tough mark, but front and centre attacked the ball hard and just kicked out in front of the of Evans, and he couldn't not mark that.
So to stretch the lead to 20 points, Evans comes in and Evans kicks a goal, and listen to the crowd get into this game. Fantastic start in this third term by the Warrandyte Football Club. It's second semi-final day. Who will go straight through to the Division 4 Grand Final? Warrandyte on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 8 minutes into the third term. 8-8-56, lead by 20. Forest Hill 5-6-36.
And I think you're seeing the value now of multiple scoring options.
Yep.
I think, you know, we've still got that situation where Nolte's the only option down the Forest Hill forward line. Now Evans chips in and comes up with a goal, done with another goal. I think that's been valuable for Warrandyte. They've been able to got a number of avenues to attack.
Graham McCallum's just gone into the bush down at the housing estate end to try and look for the pill that's gone once again over the top of the net.
Yeah, Evans absolutely roosted it, didn't he?
You'd say on an average kick it's probably tall enough. Ball back in the middle though as we manage to get the replacement out. Bit of a nil-all draw in the ruck, and it goes through a series of hands before it ends up in the hands of McGuire, who turns it over. And at Warrandyte a chance to go inside forward 50. Dangerous bouncing ball. Felt the pressure, did Britton, just tried to boot it. Hardly got a boot to ball in the end. And it's wrapped up 60 out from the Warrandyte goal.
Appleby's had a good few minutes as well, getting in and under, getting first use of the footy, and Warrandyte are really benefiting from it.
It'll be thrown up once again. This time tapped down by Stoneham. Trying to push it forward, finally getting a fair break in play there. Fisher towards half forward. Play here with Carnelli if he can pick up cleanly. Got a roost. Hardly got a boot to ball then. He'll turn it over.
Great tackle.
Fantastic. Recover. Unrewarded. Harris gets his handball over now. Warrandyte a chance to clear to the commentary side. Sits up nicely there for Cicluna. So Cicluna has to move.
Why are you not going to just slam it back in?
Towdy's taken a great mark then.
He would be happy with that as well.
And he's shown the ball when he got it too.
So it'll be David Hand to take the free kick. Kicks up the line. Over the back, Cicluna tries to boot it forward. Intended targets all couldn't mark. Try to get it through there, Stoneham. Inside forward 50. The kick here from Shoulders. went over the back of the pack, and now Ansaldi, if he can get a clean kick, they're away, Warrandyte.
And Ross Ansaldi kicks it out towards a one-on-one contest. Tommy Norton versus Kay Magamez. Look at the talent between these two. It comes through. Harrison got the handball back, and now Warrandyte are away. The kick finds Large on the edge of the centre square. He's got Gauci all alone at centre half forward. He finally spots it, and the kick was good enough too. Gauci, well, he gave a nice little pirouette when he took the mark to get the crowd excited, but it was certainly one he should have taken. On the right boot, he keeps the ball low. It was intended for Froud. It was a little bit of a stab kick in the end. Done right up against the boundary line. Gets seen over the boundary line by Scott McPherson, and will have a boundary throw-in only about 30 metres out from the Warrandyte goal line. Can they stretch their lead? At currently 20 points, a very handy 20 points as well. Shoulders took it from the stoppage, from the knockdown there by McPherson, but Warrandyte have the numbers across the arc. It was scooped upon there by McHardy. He was dispossessed of the football. Umpire might call play on here. Here's Fisher on the left boot, kicks it up. Carnelli takes a strong mark, almost up to centre half forward here. The lead comes on from Nolte. He found a little bit of space. He's got to have two players to beat there. Rowe came in from the side, and he didn't have his eyes on the football, Jake Rowe, and the umpire said it will be a free kick to Warrandyte at the last line of defence to Oliver.
That was great play by Norton then, because Norton went in and put his body in front of Nolte. It was a great bit of play.
Oliver to Hookie to Norton, who takes the mark now across the half-back line, kicks it into the middle where McAdam takes the mark. So just slowing things down a little bit here, Warrandyte. Forest Hill getting the crowd excited in the last few moments. Scorsese takes the mark, doing it in bits and pieces. Well, they're finding the targets, which is a good thing. Evans, who kicked a good goal in this quarter, goes for the old 1-2. It was an absolute shocker of a kick, and now Forest Hill might get a little bit of a chance. Evans dives in over the football, picked up there by Shoulders, who has a little bit of time but has to use the opposite. Goes in towards the Nolte direction. Oliver's right on his hammer. He did very well, Oliver. Over the top, his looping handball. He had to hit the target, and he did. The kick goes up towards the wing position. Scores at the bottom of the pack was there, but Britton did really well for Forest Hill, and then got a second knock on it, looking for the safety of the boundary line. It goes out that way now, and their team have the numbers. Pilcher, little handball away, that was okay. Got it away to Burkett, whose scrambly kick found a teammate, and I tell you what, they're doing it a little bit hard here as the comeback comes back to Burkett. This way, that way. The kick goes up towards a half-forward line, looking for Carnelli. Knocked away from him, that time by Tui, who did well. This way, that way. Chip over the top. He's looking for Daniel Large, but the kick's gone out of bounds on the full, and now Forest Hill will get a chance to surge forward.
You can just about say that every time the team's gone short, they've turned it over, haven't they?
Kicked and Nolte went over the top, particularly on the smallest ground
free
that
kick?
we've got in the finals. There'll be a free kick for a push going the way of Nolte.
That's Tiggy Touchwood.
I was going to say that.
Oliver.
Yeah, I think again, it was that classic forward where he led him forward, stopped a little bit. The guy just
Made most of the contact.
made most of the contest. Clever.
Experience.
He's got an Oscar. Can he get the goal as well?
This to reduce it back to 14 points. You get the feeling they're not done with yet, and this would help their cause, the Zebras. Nolte for 5. Comes in now, keeps it line flat and straight. Kicks the 6th goal on the board for the Forest Hill Zebras. They move to 6-6-42. Warrandyte 8-8-56. A 14-point margin in favour of Warrandyte. 14 minutes gone, third term here on EFL Game Day.
They just need one. They just need another contribution from someone down there, and they could win this game of football. They cannot expect, although it's the way he's playing great, but he's a one-man band down there at the moment. He needs help.
Yeah, it's not sustainable to win a game with just the one-dimensional forward line. They really do need, as you said, Bretto, a bit more of a contribution from others. 71-point lead to Doncaster East over Bayswater out at Zerby's Reserve. As the ball in the middle of the ground, can Forest Hill get 2 goals in a row? It doesn't look like it, because first player to meet the ball is Mark Cullen. He's got the poise and the experience to hit a target up forward. Pardon me. And it was a good kick too.
You get the feeling that finals battle's going to go right down to the wire.
So can the quick reply come from the Warrandyte Football Club? Lamaris just pokes it up towards the hot spot over the top there of Dunn. Running onto it was Froud. Oh, right on his hammer there was Alston, who sees the ball right over towards the boundary line. He's holding his arms up. I get scared when players do that, because you almost do it as if you've done something wrong, but the umpire said all was fair. And we'll have a boundary throwing right in front of the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, seeing Warrandyte 14 points up. Hand goes up against 2-2, got the knockdown. Came straight into the arms of Fisher, who's had a fair bit of the ball. Harris nearly ripped in an absolute perler on the wing position. And Forest Hill, they might get another chance here, but the handball was chopped off by Harris and over the boundary line and out.
Inside 50s this quarter, 9-5 in favour of Forest Hill, thanks to Choose Tap.
Grant Suvi Campbell, the number 1 statsman in the East. Absolutely.
The number 1 statsman anywhere.
Yep, we've got him.
By throws it in. Little kick came down. Fisher handball, but ball kicked forward and a strong mark taken there by Gauchi. So just stuck the hands up and he pulled it in. Dumps the ball forward towards the forward pocket there. Knocked away nicely by McPherson. Forest Hill do have the numbers. McPherson comes back. Little handball away and now they link up okay. Here's Berger on the right boot. Kicks it out and that's a decent old kick too because the mark's been taken by Whitty, who had a bit of it in the first term. Been a little bit quiet since. Whitty across the defensive arc for Forest Hill, right in front of the grandstand here at Walker Park. 14 points is the difference. The kick was a strong one and it had to be taken in the first grab by Matt Carnelli, who pulls it down. Right in front of the Warrandyte faithful here. He thumps it on the boot. You can hear it in the effects. Might kick over the top looking for Pincott. It went over the top of his head. Mopping up nicely there was Cullen, who might have used Tommy Norton. He should have because the boundary line beat him and out of bounds. It is called and will be thrown in 50 metres out from goal.
Around the grounds, thanks to the local Burger Co. Sorry, boys, we've got a score through. Wanturna South beating East Build by massive margin. Scoresby are off the bottom currently as it stands in Division 2.
This has got to be as exciting as we've seen Division 2 in a number of years. This is going to go right to the final siren across about 4 or 5 games. As trying to clear out there was Hosky. Kick wasn't flash and he's turned it over. So it'll be Pilcher to take the free kick. True centre wing, commentary side. Looking to go short, does so. Finds his target. And they've gone back. It's Britton. Britton's kick cut off. And Gauchi's just starting to get into this game. He could be the X factor.
Nice
that
Shepherd.
will send Warrandyte into the grand final. Inside forward 50 with a kick. Fly came from the back crowd. Couldn't take the mark and done over the back season, over the goal, boundary line and out of bounds.
They just kicked the ball into poor positions the last couple of minutes, Warrandyte. They need to lower their eyes a little bit more. They've got lots of options.
2-2 went third man up. You don't want to get in front of that man. He's like a freight train once he gets a run on.
Just ask Christian Holdsworth.
Yeah, exactly right. Still feeling the pain. 40 metres out from the Warrandyte goal. 18 minutes gone third term. You're listening to Pancake Parlour EFL Game Day. It's Warrandyte Forest Hill.
Bit of holding on
2-2. Trying to play for the free kick 2-2. Umpire wasn't having a bar of it. Trying to get around one. Gauchi went without it and it's held up. Now 50 out from the Warrandyte goal.
He's silky smooth, Gauchi. He could be a game breaker. He's already starting to get his hands on the ball this quarter, but it could, if he continues to find the ball, Warrandyte will build a lead.
Ball comes down straight into the arms of Appleby, wrapped up quickly by Nick Pincott.
Looks like Blackburn aren't going away. Trail by a point to Roval at the 10-minute mark of the third term.
Ball comes out. Pilcher. Linking handball was okay, but the kick goes up towards the wing position where Warrandyte had the numbers at the back. McCarty, who's come on in this third term, switches it into the middle of the ground, and Soldy, he might go further wide here because they've got players streaming. Here's McAdam on the right boot, short passes on, and Ash Froud, who was out in front, takes the mark, and he'll kick from just outside the 45-metre arc.
That's what happens when you lower your eyes. You know, lots of options there. Lower your eyes. You've got lots of running options. Kick it to the right one.
I think it's the temptation of knowing that you've got the big guns up forward that you can kick along to, but I agree. If you lower your eyes, you bring other players into the game.
1-3 this afternoon for Ash Froud. He comes in now from 45 metres out. The goal umpire has not moved. That was gun barrel straight for the veteran. Ash Froud kicks his second goal, and on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Warrandyte get their 9th, almost into time on in the third term. They call it the premiership quarter, and Warrandyte lead by 20 points, 62-42.
The next couple of minutes are really important because if Warrandyte do kick another one, it is going to make it really tough for Forest Hill. But if Forest Hill kick another one, then they're back in there again and they're scrapping their way into that last quarter. So next 3 or 4 minutes crucial to this game.
Boundary.
Around the ground, thanks to the local Burger Co. 7-point lead to Doncaster. BWS, you might have a few more accurate scores on Donny East. Bayswater, we've still got the half-time scores here in the studio.
I think it was about 71 points at last check, Ben.
Yeah, they're safe.
Yeah. No, just in regards to Bayswater's percentage, because it's dropping pretty quickly at the moment as the ball goes to the outer side.
All I'm getting is biased commentary coming through from Doncaster East. I can't help you.
Would you expect anything less from Doncaster East supporters?
No.
We'll cross boundary side thanks to LifeCare, Lockie.
Yeah, that last goal really brought the Warrandite faithful into this game. They're getting very vocal here.
I think it's starting to get that way, and I think there's an air of confidence around the Bloods at the moment. Although a game not done with yet, still a quarter and probably 5 or 10 minutes to play as Burkett busts through a couple. He's been fantastic for Forest Hill, one of the shining lights, kicked up towards McGarmez, ball bounced in his favour. If he can pick it up, he's almost away. Good pressure came from the Warrandite defence. Nice work there from McCarty.
He cannot get into the game, Kane McGarmez.
I actually can't remember him having a kick.
He got a handball.
I know he got a handball.
Yeah, because we mentioned it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Ball thrown in, 60 from home for the Zebras, and now a chance to clear away. Cullen gets a little kick, chip kick up. Appleby under a lot of pressure, wrapped up on the outer side, and it going nowhere. Centre wing outer side. It's currently a 20-point lead to Warrandite. They're 9-8-62. Forest Hill 6-6-62. 6-6-42, I should say. We'll cross to Grants Campbell for some true match stats. Thanks to Yarra Valley Water.
Clearances this quarter 9-8 in favour of Warrandite. Contested possessions 31-28 in favour of Forest Hill. So not a lot on the stat sheet.
Good to see G-Mac carrying a barrel that's bigger than him.
Some would say, why don't we just put him in there? I wouldn't say that, though.
That's morbid.
Make your bed, you lie in it.
Back to the footy, guys.
So, Warrandite with the clearance on centre wing. Ball hasn't moved within probably 20 metres in this last minute or so. 22 minutes gone now.
Bit of a lull in this game. I think it would suit Warrandite, actually. Just build a bit of a lead and they can have a chance to sort of see out this quarter, reset for what should be a thrilling last term.
Thrown in once again. 2-2 gets the tap down but turns it over. Good work from Norton. Got his clearing kick forward. But it's turned over once again. Now a chance for Forest Hill. Short chip kick. Wasn't flash but just found its target at Pincott. Pincott tried to kick to 2-2. Coming in and trying to cut it off there was Daly. Daly on centre wing. Now trying to bust through a pack there was Richardson. Got the clearing kick away up towards half forward. It's going to go hard up against the boundary line. Large over around the footy. Now Forest Hill regain possession. It's just got scrappy in the last couple of minutes and no side able to really gain any ascendancy. 50 metres out from the Warrandite goal. They lead this one by 20 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 23 minutes gone, a third term.
Well, so far Forest Hill have had 5 just in the back half kicks that have been short, that have been turned over. Yes, you know, I know it's part of their game plan, but yeah, they're just turning over every time they do it. So you've got to change up something if that keeps happening.
They're better when they're a running side, I think.
Pye throws it in hand over the back, bounced into the lap of Large, who was brought to ground by Sean Alston, and will have a bounce just forward for the Warrandite Football Club.
I mean, 4 minutes they haven't gone anywhere. The ball is in the same spot.
Alston on hands and knees, wants to release the football. He's got Appleby right over the top of him. He's had a good game, Appleby. McAdam gets a little toe poke on the football and over she goes.
They're just testing us out to see how many different ways we can say balls on centre wing out of side.
Okay, well, around the ground, thanks to local Burko, 20-point lead to Doncaster in the third term.
Hand, got a big fist on it that time. First play to meet it will be Pilcho, who's one of Forest Hill's best. Handball went over the boundary line and out of bounds. 50 metres out from the Warrandite goals. We've gone 24 and a half minutes in this third term. A goal either way will make things very interesting. A goal to Warrandite will see them with a almost insurmountable lead. And as it comes down now, O'Sullivan with the ponytail brought to ground by Chris Towd, who's certainly not afraid to lay a tackle, the young man.
Just on what you're saying, Bretto, as well. You know, Forest Hill, they really need to make the play. They can't just be, dinking around, because they've got to make the play and get back into this game.
Little toe poke by Tout, came out into the direction of Appleby. Forest Hill had the numbers, but not looking where they're kicking it. And Tommy Norton's come up from, well, there's no player behind centre here as the kick goes in. McPherson should get a free kick because Dunn was not watching the football and the umpire saw that. He almost pulled in the mark, McPherson. It's been a good battle all day, 2-2. Takes the handball receive and dumps the ball out towards the wing position. Shoulders versus Large. Two class acts go at it. Great tackle there by Large, and Shoulders basically dropped the football then, so he could have been rewarded there. Large goes after it again. Both players good efforts there, and will have a bounce.
Around the grounds, thanks to the local Burger Co, the current percentage difference between Scoresby and East Melwood is 0.4. Scoresby still holding on to Division 2.
Great stuff as the ball scoots out. McAdam, good little handball away. Large. Siren sounds to announce a three-quarter time out here in the second semi-final between Warrandyte and Forest Hill. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it's a 20-point lead to the Bloods, 9-8-62. Forest Hill, 6-6-42. The major goal kickers on the ground. 3 goals to the big full forward for Warrandyte, Luke Dunn. 2 each to Froud and Artie Lamaris. While the major goal kicker for the Forest Hill Football Club is 5 big ones to Ash Nolte, who is going to go straight through to the grand final. Only time will tell. 30 minutes, in fact. Stay tuned on 98.1 Radio Eastern as we go back to the Radio Eastern studios, then come back with all those important around the ground scores right after this.
Okay, boys, it's time we got ourselves a big advantage this weekend.
I'm not going to tank, Coach.
No, who said anything about tanking? It's what you'll save in the tank. I want you all to go out and get a breeze tag. Use Eastlink. You'll be at the ground faster and fresher, and you'll save fuel too.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
Program sponsor.
Love it local and keep your radio dial locked on 98.1 Radio Eastern. EFL Gameday kicks off at 1 every Saturday as the EFL Media Team bring you all the EFL Gameday action, thanks to the Pancake Parlour. On Sunday, tune in from 10 for Crocs Play Centre's EFL Sunday for a complete review of all the senior EFL matches. Wednesday night from 6, tune in to The Huddle with Paul Semasides, Aaron Kirkby Rodia and Will Taylor for a lighter look at the EFL. Love it local this season on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Oh, Barry. He was a great guy, a real larrikin. He loved his footy, was a loyal Carlton supporter. This year's our year, he'd say. He always had Slim Dusty blaring through his speakers. So at Barry's send-off, his coffin was painted navy blue. And Slim Dusty's looking forward, looking back, filled the room.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, our motto is, if it's legal, it's possible. Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
For all the latest news from right around the Eastern Football League, and you can get involved by voting for your favourite EFL Play of the Week. EFL TV, love it local 24/7 at efl.org.au.
Hey man.
Yeah, man.
Can you smell it?
Smell what?
It's my favourite smell in the world. Footy season.
Yeah, man, like you can smell the grass at the Mighty G.
Yeah, and you know what else I can smell? The hot marshmallow chocolate at Pancake Parlour.
They're like my favourite smells ever. Like first you head to the G and smell the grass, and then after you've cheered your guts out, head straight to Pancake Parlour and warm up with a delicious hot marshmallow chocolate.
Oh, it's made with pure Belgian chocolate, seriously decadent.
Oh, Pancake Parlour, open 24 hours, High Point, Malvern and Doncaster East. Lovely.
Program sponsor.
EFL mobile web app. Own a smartphone and love the EFL? Then the EFL mobile web app is a must for you. Go to ed.efl.org.au to access fixtures, results and ladders for all EFL grades. You can also receive live around the ground scores every Saturday afternoon from the palm of your hand and contribute to the mighty EFL forum while you're online. Download the EFL mobile web app to go live and local for your footy, right from the palm of your hand.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Yes, Aaron Keeper-Rodia here back in the studios. The EFL Gameday Pancake Parlour game of the day currently sees Warrandyte leading at three-quarter time, 9-8-62, Forest Hill 6-6-42. Getting a few scores still coming through, as we said, that game ahead of everybody else. At the moment, ball in three-quarter time, 16-5-101, lead North England at 3-5-23. And as we wait for other scores to come through, boys,
you there,
it's 0.5. Yes, we can hear you. 0.5%.
Just getting
difference.
a score update. The last one, this was about 4 minutes ago from ZEBRAS. It's Doncaster East 17-10 leading Bayswater 7-5. So roughly, what's that, 65 points?
So that was 17-10 to, what was that?
17-10 to 7-5.
7-5. I'll update that live later, but as I said, currently on the bottom, scores be hanging on by 0.4%. So it's sort of a kick either way at the moment in that game.
This would be, thanks very much, Aaron Keeper-Rodia. Of course, all thanks to the local Burger Co. Every around-the-ground score that you hear right throughout season 2015. More importantly, back to the game at hand. We mentioned after that break that Forest Hill probably needed one in that last 5-minute patch or so.
Yeah, look, the ball just hung around in the one area for a long, long time. They needed to get it out. They needed some transition running. They just weren't able to get their hands on the ball. And, yeah.
Cross-boundary side, thanks to LifeCare, Esmond Aponso.
Look, I just got Brett Shelders, the ZEBRAS coach. Brett, obviously 20 points down. Not a big score today. But is there any structural changes? Because Nolte is doing a fantastic job. But is there any other opportunities, maybe even to get 2-2 up there, just to give it a little bit more options up there?
Yeah, the only problem is we need him in the ruck. So I'll keep walking. But no, look, there won't be anything structural. I mean, Canelli's just got to pull his finger out. That could be a good structural change. A few blokes, McGarmy's got to get involved. That's all. We've got the forwards there. They just got to have a go and they've got to get involved.
Thanks a lot for that. Thank you.
Fair bit of honesty. That's exactly what we're saying. McGarmy's has had one touch all day. Carnelli's hardly got into it. Every shot he's had has been around the body, or there's been no real key shot.
Well, he's had to push up to the wing to take the mark as well. I mean, he started to get his hands a bit up on the ball, but he's kind of wasted on the wing. You need him up forward where he does the damage.
Well, the other thing is, if you're going to kick the ball short, and as short as what they kick it, that allows the opposition to push players back behind the contest.
Of course.
Therefore, it makes it really hard to hit those forwards up. If you get it in quickly to those forwards, then they've got more opportunity to get the ball. So while I agree that they need to really lift, you've got to change a little bit in the way that you bring the football in to give them that opportunity.
Yeah, you need to play into their their advantage, I suppose, or play to their strengths is probably the better way of what I've got to say. But let's see how they go in that final quarter.
Blackburn by 8 points over at Seabeck in a tight game at three-quarter time. Out here at three-quarter time, it's Warrandyte with 1 foot into the grand final in 2 weeks' time, although still 25 minutes or so to play in this contest as Burkett tries to push it forward. He's wrapped up going nowhere. As we mentioned, it's a 20-point lead in favour of the Bloods. They lead 9-8-62. Forest Hill 6-6-42. Get some around-the-ground scores as they come to hand, thanks to Aaron Keeper-Rodia and the local Burger Co. But Nolte takes the mark. Could this be the decisive factor that gets the Forest Hill crowd up and about, and more importantly, gets their players once again back in the game? This will be for goal number 6 out of 7 for Forest Hill, and Nolte for the first on the board of the final term.
This will lift him.
Comes in now. Kicked one earlier in the third term from this exact spot. Makes no mistake, celebrates that one home, and we are back to a 14-point ball game. Game on here at Walker Park, and Warrandyte 9-8-62. Forest Hill draw first blood, bring it back to a 14-point lead in favour of the Bloods, 7-6-48. 1 minute gone in this final term.
We keep talking about the fact that you can't have a one-man forward line, but I suppose if that one man's, if he's kicked 6 out of 7, then I suppose if you get it to him another 4 times, there's a chance he could kick a ridiculously high score. But you've got to expect the others to chip in eventually.
Yeah. Back in the middle of the ground, Stoneham knocked it straight into the arms there of Burkett, who scrambled to kick up towards half forward. It was knocked away. Nicely done there by Tui. Barged his way through a pack but lost the football. Bottom of the pack, Nick Pincott. And we'll have a bounce just inside the centre square. It's forward for Forest Hill, trailing by 14 points. First score on the board to them this term. Taken there by Appleby, got looped around, got the handball away, stolen by O'Sullivan. Scorsese has him nicely wrapped up. And I tell you what, O'Sullivan didn't try hard enough, the umpire said. So Scorsese gets the free kick for holding the ball. Kick goes out wide. It's almost a 3-on-1 situation out here as the mark has been taken there by Cullen. Short passes on. Well, that is as easy as you like, isn't it? And the mark's been taken by Ash Froud, a combination that has worked very well over years.
But he also had large out wide. He didn't really turn and look, but, you know, now we get a chance if Froud dobs this, then they're back square again.
Well, he's had several attempts as Ash Froud. He's kicked 2 goals. He had a shot from here earlier in the game, and this time he puts it through. He made the umpire do a bit of work, but through for 6 points it goes. That's his 3rd goal on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Warrandyte's 10th at the 3-minute mark of the final term. 10-8-68. It's back out to 20 points. Forest Hill 7-6-48.
Yeah, well, it just wasn't. It was substandard by the Forest Hill defence. They just weren't in any sort of shape or structure to defend that. As you said, Brotto, there was 3 different options that Cullen could have had. I think he chose the right one by going inboard at the end of the day. They get the goal, but they've got to be structurally better than that, Forest Hill defensively.
You get the feeling Forest Hill are just going to go for broke here. They're either going to win or they're going to go down by 8 to 10 goals. And they're already down by 20 points and got a lot of work to do to get back into this contest.
Yeah, percentage doesn't really matter too much in finals, does it?
That's it. Belter, he's still got a chance.
Ball thrown up. And it goes forward for Warrandyte. Gauchi, nice tackle there. Held his opponent up, although umpire said it was a little bit too crude, too high.
He did the right thing to start off with and then just was silly with the end result.
That's it. So the free kick going the way of Shoulders, who gives to Pincott. Short, finds O'Sullivan. Half back, commentary side wing. Kicks up towards half forward. Carnelli's got 2 to beat. Can't quite do so. Coach said he need to pull his finger out.
Oh, on the full.
Time. And that should be on the full. So a free kick going the way of Jake Rowe.
Carnelli wants it.
I think they were arguing to which team it'll be.
Around the grounds
so they're saying it'll be Harris to take the free kick. Sorry, Az, go.
Yep, no, it's 0.3%. Scoresby still hanging on in Division 2. There'll be some more live scores when you got time, boys.
So the free kick going the way of Harris in the end for out on the full against Rowe, who kicks up the line, centre wing, commentary side, running back with the flight of the ball, trying to take it Britton. And got beaten by 2 and over the boundary line, out of bounds across. Back to Aaron Kukuroda in the studio, thanks to the local Burger Co.
At 3/4 time, Division 1, East Ringwood 8-8-56, Montrose 11-14-80, Knox 7-2-44, Norwood 12-7-79, Blackburn 13-9-87 lead, Rowville 12-7-79, Noble Park 18-12-120, Lilydale 3-6-24, Baldwin 16-5-101, lead North Ringwood 3-5-23. And Mulgrave leads Scoresby by 20 points, 80-60 in Division 2, and also Doncaster 17-13, 115 to Bayswater 7-5-47. Still awaiting other scores coming in.
It's a live ladder in Division 2 as for sides playing finals.
Currently the gap has opened up as Doncaster lead by 21 points. 5% is the difference, so Bayswater is still currently in the field.
Oh, I tell you what, Luke Dunn, that is certainly the Pancake Parlour play of the day, a massive slips catch, which any Australian cricketer would be proud of. It was a fantastic diving mark.
Get him in as the 12th man, I'd say, for the next Ashes series. That was absolutely fantastic. You often see after a great mark the kick isn't all that flash, but let's go against the rule and kick yourself a goal, Dunny.
To create the biggest lead of the afternoon, Luke Dunn, he has 3 goals. He comes in now, he shoots for it and he puts it through. Fantastic play there by Warrandyte. What a mark, what a goal by the big full forward. And a little bit of breathing space as well. Margin out to 26 points out here in the second semi-final at Walker Park. 74 plays 48.
Well, he hasn't had an exceptionally fantastic day, but he's done his role as a forward. He's kicked 1 goal in each quarter. As you said, fantastic mark there as well. And, you know, a player like Luke Dunn's contribution, it could be the difference. It is at the moment.
Well, you look at Froud's kicked 3, Dunn's kicked 4, and Evans has kicked 1, so there's 8 goals from your 3 key forwards. That's all you can ask for. You can't ask for much more than that.
So ball back in the middle once again. A couple of misguided kicks as Burkett gives his handball away to Shoulders. Now it comes out in favour of Warrandyte. Got a lot of work to do here. Lamaris gave his handball away. Now a chance. Snapping high and long to the top of the goal square. Evans. Dunn. To make it 2 in a minute. Great mark
Plucked
there from Luke Dunn. Was about 4 deep and just was right place, right time. And they continue to pressure in their way into the grand final.
Marks inside 50 now, 16-6 for the match in favour of Warrandyte, and every goal they've kicked has come from a set shot.
Probably the biggest stat of the afternoon, thanks to Stu Stat and Grant Campbell. Luke Dunn for goal number 5 of the afternoon. Comes in now. And works it right, but goal umpire's happy with it. The 12th goal on the board for the Bloods. They move on to 12-8-80. Forest Hill 7-6-48. And I reckon at this stage, at the 7-minute mark, you're going to see Warrandyte in a couple of weeks' time out here for the Division 4 Grand Final.
If you read the body language of the boys coming off on the bench for Forest Hill, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're a fairly dejected bunch. And look, Dunn's just taking his opportunity there. He just, at the fall of the ball, he was there. Nothing that the defender could do. Good mark, good goal. 2 key ones early.
Higher bounces the ball now, knocked down there by Hosking, got it away. That was a handball out wide. That was Appleby, got it away to Onsoldi, up towards the half-forward line. Dunn, who's having a purple patch. It was knocked away from him there by Britton, picked up there by Mark Shoulders. Handball over the top. Hosking chopped it off nicely. The big man for Warrandyte forced the boundary throw in, which is where we'll have one about 80 metres out from goal.
Around the grounds over at Eastfield in the Division 3 qualifying final, Templestowe 12-14-86 lead the Basin 8-10-58. So Templestowe looking like they're going to take on Mitcham next Saturday afternoon.
Hosking got the knockdown over the back of 2-2 that time. Burkett was quickly wrapped up and we'll have a bounce. Almost 9 minutes gone here in the final term. 32-point lead to Warrandyte. They look to have the chocolates. Wensley was tackled very nicely there by Appleby, who really impressed me this afternoon, Appleby. Throws it up again. Hosking, make that 4 in a row for him. Came out Tout, who could have got a free kick after getting rid of the football. 2-2, gave the handball away, but he was pushed over the line. Had the boundary throw in. The time is nigh for the Warrandyte, for the Forest Hill Football Club. They need to get a couple in a row. Get some spark back. It comes out Cicluna, who's been relatively quiet, has Gouchy there as well, who has one arm pinned. Can't get rid of the football, didn't drop it, so the umpire said, give it to me, we'll bounce it.
And the more of this sort of footy that happens, the more Warrandyte are happy because the ball's not out, it's not being cleared. They've got to take a few more risks, Forest Hill at the moment. I think, again, structurally, they're not taking any risks. They need to, whether it's push everybody outside the 50 and go 1 in the square with 2-2 or whatever it may be, they need to take a few risks.
Hosking, front spot, knocked it down. Megarmez still looking to get boot to ball. Gives it back to the umpire.
Brett Shoulders said that he's not going to move 2-2 out of the ruck, but you might as well gamble and do something different, so that could be it.
Pincott to Shoulders on the right boot, keeps it low towards the Nolte direction. He trapped that absolutely magnificent, did Nolte. Might get the old, they look for the old 1-2, chopped off there by Chris Tower, who got the ball away to Cullen. Short passes on and safety counts, and they'll do it in bits and pieces along the boundary line. Warrandyte out of that danger zone. Gouchy over the back takes a pretty good mark. On the right boot now, swings around. It was like a bullet. He hit Richardson on the chest, who is just outside the centre square here. So Warrandyte are 2 kicks away from goal. The kick goes inside forward 50, a floating ball. McPherson had the front spot, little handball over the top, copped one in the back. And it might be downfield to Shoulders, or it might come back. It will come back to McPherson, who has the ball just on the defensive arc. It is a very, very handy 32-point lead here in the final term at the 11-minute mark.
Short chip kick, didn't find its target under a bit of pressure here. Wensley gets his kick away, cuts it off. Work there from Tout. Now they turn it over. Richardson, short chip kick over the top. Found Ansoldi all by himself, but he spilt it before he got it. And over the boundary line and out of bounds she went.
Again, another short kick out of defence that didn't hit its target. So you just got to change up what you're doing and get it in longer, quicker, so they go forwards a bit more of an opportunity.
About to 2-2, but McKenzie was held up straight away. Will win the free kick.
Fortunately for Forest Hill, they can afford to address these things after the game, so at least all not is lost.
Gave the handball out to Pincock, put his team out under a lot of pressure. Working in a phone booth there was Berger. Short chip kick found its target, Alston. Out wide, dangerous position for O'Sullivan, who should get out of it here, although the pressure came. Just doing anything they can to try and work it out of defence. Now they get a bit of a run through the middle of the ground. Looking towards Burkett, almost took a really good contested mark. Got his handball away. Cicluna hard up against the boundary line, wrong side of the boot, and it goes 3 deep out into the crowd. So we have free kick centre wing here for Warrandyte.
Disappointing, because that was a great effort there by Burkett.
Certainly been a shining light for the Zebs this afternoon. It'll be Harris to take the free kick, 50 from his defensive goal. Goes long up the line, looking for a marking option, won't find it. Target there was Evans, fell to the back of the pack. Nicely wrapped up there, good tackle from Hand. Warrandyte at the 12-minute mark, 12-8-80. They lead Forest Hill 7-6-48. This is second semi-final action in Division 4, all thanks to the Pancake Parlour.
Pye throws the ball in now, 2-2 over the back, knocked it down. Lamaris was in there, sorry, and Salty it was. Umpire said give it back.
Boundary.
Cross down boundary side, thanks to LifeCare, Lachlan Munro.
Yeah, I feel like Forest Hill just really need to take this game on with some intensity and pressure. They've got nothing left to lose now.
Hand kicks the ball up towards the half-forward line. A little bit of holding going on, you would have thought. And Tommy Norton, he asked the question of the umpire nicely, and he gave it to him as he kicks it out towards Froud, who got a little bit of a shove. And now Forest Hill have a go here up towards the half-forward line. This way, that way. Oh, this could almost be one of the goals of the year. But the kick goes towards Nolte. But he had 4 players to beat. Warrandyte, they just have the numbers everywhere at the moment as they move the ball out towards half-back. Tout was by himself. Harris is in there, gets the handball away to Tui, eventually finds Tout, and now they might be off. The handball came. Hookie gave the don't argue. Out of my way, out of this way. Oh, very clever there by Hookie. Can he keep the ball alive? Oh, the adrenaline was pumping, and he kicked it out of bounds on the floor, but it certainly fired the crowd up. Great intensity.
32 points up, and on that last play, Michael Tout threw his hat to the ground in frustration.
Yeah,
not done with yet.
He had an inside player that was 15 metres short.
Missed.
He could have gone to him and he missed. I think that's what it was.
Kick goes up towards Nolte, who almost got a little shove in the back. Then the umpire said it was okay. Scooped upon there by Appleby. Swings around on the left boot now. The kick has to be good. He was looking for Daniel Large. A player to meet at first there was Wensley. Little snap around the body. It's got to bounce favourably. It does for Cicluna. Over the top he goes, looking for Maguire. Well, it didn't hit him on the full, and he had to work very hard for it. Umpire says play on. It's very close to the boundary line, and it'll eventually be called a ball up 50 metres out from goal. It's down Forest Hill's end. They trail by 32 points, almost halfway through the final term of the second semi-final in Division 4. Hand, a little backhander, went nowhere in the end. A good tackle at the bottom of the pack there by Large on his opponent in Justin Cicluna.
That's a... I'd say they've thrown in the towel and they've said that's it. Nolte comes off. They need him for next week. He's been off with a calf for the last 2 weeks. I reckon they're saying, right, put the cue in the rack, mate. You stay for next couple of weeks.
Had a great game.
It's the only way you could explain it, isn't it?
Oh, it's been sensational.
Ball up comes now, over the top. Can the change up in the forward line create some sort of spark? Magama's, he went after the football, but over she goes. Boundary throw in is the result, 40 metres out from goal.
Around the grounds, thanks to the local Burco. Can the Waverley Blues do it again? First goal of the final term. They're back within 25 points. And also, if you can believe this, Scoresby are hanging on. The current percentage is Scoresby 53.78, East Burwood 53.67.
I tell you what, Tutu just slams it on his boot from a standing start from 50, and that is the Westfield Knox goal of the day. There is absolutely no doubt about that. They needed a spark from somewhere. They got a spark from somewhere. Fia Tutu, what a goal.
He's actually had he's had a crack. Yeah. He's been put in the ruck. He's been put forward. He's thrown his body around. He's tried to lift him in whatever way he can, and that's the sort of thing he can do.
And he has been moved up forward as well, which it's already created that first goal. Now that Nolte is off, and well, there's time enough. You just never know.
Ball back in the middle once again. 16 and a half minutes gone, final term. Yeah. There's enough time on the board. There's still enough goals to be kicked as McGummers. That's probably his second touch. Wasn't even a clean disposal. Great
a little
tackle
bit of
there from
holding.
Shoulders. Was held and wrapped up Pincott. Pincott's gone down pretty hard on the cricket pitch. They'll need him if they're going to get back into this game. And umpire blows time off. So a bit of a lull in play. Warrandyte 12-8-80, Forest Hill 8-6-54. 17 minutes gone, just looking through for around the ground scores. 4 minutes gone, final term. Blackburn by 8 points. Vermont at three-quarter time, 2013, 133 doing it comfortably over Croydon, 6-5-41.
Dyson, that has swapped around there. East Burwood currently off the bottom, 53.67%. Scoresby, 53.52%.
Unreal. Keep us updated right throughout this final term. As Warrandyte try and go forward. Good kick off the ground from O'Sullivan. Gained valuable meterage. Pilcher and McGarmes up against Hookie. Hookie did well against three to see it over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Inside 50s this quarter, 7-5. In Warrandyte's favour, they're winning the clearances 8-6.
Ball to be thrown in once again. Hosking had front position, gave it away. Burkett held without it. Umpire said no. Forest Hill inside forward, 52-2. Outmusters his opponent and takes a brilliant mark over the back of Oliver. And can line up for two in the space of a couple of minutes, bring the margin back to 20 points, and all of a sudden, the Zebs start to believe again.
Well, Brett Davidson, you should be a coach, mate. You told two to go forward, and he's done that. And it's a good effect as well. So if you can kick his second here, well, they stay in it.
From a very tough angle, sends it on its way, goes the drop punt. That is a brilliant kick, and gives it a little bit of the old whatever that is, and it brings it back to 20 points. Forest Hill 9-6-60, Warrandyte 12-8-80. 18 and a half minutes gone, final term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. You're listening to EFL Game Day. Don't go anywhere because Forest Hill are on the march.
Yeah, that was an outstanding goal. That is a tough pocket and...
Great kick.
Yeah,
He was basically behind the scoreboard when he kicked it.
And look at that, McGarmes has gone up onto the wing.
It's only taken 3.5 quarters.
Can they get another clearance? The ball in the arms there of Fisher. Couldn't quite trap it. It releases. Tommy Norton for Warrandyte. An up and under kick up towards centre half forward. It's trapped. Oh, big fly there by Evans. He almost pulled it down. He won the football as well. Handball over the top. This is good. Gouchy got it from Tui. He sold a little bit of candy. He had the poise and a short pass is on. And he hits Artie Lamaris on the chest about 45 to 50 metres out from goal. He's already kicked 2 goals this afternoon. And this will stem the tide nicely.
Yeah, once again, the Airport West boys looking after each other. But look, it could have been easy. Could have been Gouchy that blazed the way, but he assessed his options and picked the right option in the end.
Lamaris, a hop, skip and a jump up towards the 45. He unleashes now. He pushes it to the right-hand side. I thought the under-19s were going to finally get up out of their chairs there and cheer that one home, but 1 point is the result, and we've hit time on here in the final term. There can only be 8-9 minutes left here out at Walker Park, and it is a 21-point lead to Warrandyte. 81 plays 60.
It comes out wide, finds its target, hard up against the boundary line, Alston.
Warrandyte have blocked this off beautifully. Got to take a risk here.
Almost a 15-man zone at the moment. It's going to be hard to break. Alston just kicks up towards centre wing. Can't do it. And they've turned it over. Tui marks 60 from goal. Got options on inside forward 50. Just taking time now. They can do plenty of that because 21 minutes are gone in this final term. They still hold a 21-point lead. Bunch fly at the back. Pilcher tried to be first to meet it. Gouchy got in there as well. Turned it over. Alston hard up against the boundary line and push over and over the fence.
So that hand pass wide does nothing. They'd be much better off attacking the middle and just taking a risk and just seeing what can happen from it.
Around the grounds, thanks to the local Burger Co. Scoresby have jumped East Build again with a goal.
Wow.
53.85% East Build, 53.67.
So we're talking within 5 or 6 points that it's going to change no matter who's...
Wow, a goal.
That's incredible.
A goal gets you relegated.
18 rounds, and it's going to come down to a goal that you kick in the last quarter.
I remember I had Nutter Whiting when we were playing at Doncaster East to make finals, and a goal was kicked after the game and we missed out.
Wow, wow, great day.
Just had to say something, didn't you, VWS? Just had
Isn't
to
that
say
almost
something.
that was a 10-goal turnaround?
It was. I think Murrelbach were 10 goals in front and got beaten in that game, in another game for them to get in.
And Bayswater currently holding on to fourth by 5% as Waverley Blues trail by 35 points. So unless there's a big comeback from the Blues,
Come on,
Bayswater
Doncaster
look to
East.
hold on.
So ball to be balled up about 60 from home, I reckon. O'Sullivan.
I think he got a don't argue in the throat.
He's down behind play. Gouchy will be first to meet this ball. Snaps it from
That's gonna
45.
make it.
Top of the goal square, bending back.
wow.
Not quite far enough. And through for one behind. Warrandyte 12, 10.82. Forest Hill 9.660. 22.5 minutes gone. Final term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Holding his shoulder as he comes off O'Sullivan. So not good signs as Forest Hill look to be playing the winner of tomorrow's first semi-final between the Cougars and the Cougars.
No doubt Esmond will be all over that, looking after Forest Hill this afternoon. Short passes on. Well, it wasn't too short in the end, but it was a good one. Gareth Britton takes the mark inside the arc. They need to play fast football now, the Forest Hill Football Club. It takes some chances, and that's exactly what Britton did in the end, but it was a scrambly old kick and chopped off by Evans, who kicks it up towards centre half forward. Strong mark taken there by Appleby. It'd be good to see him slam through his second for the day. He's certainly going to kick it to the hot spot. There's no doubt about that. Right to the top of the goal square where Dunn takes the mark and he just plays on and says, that is as easy as you like. Thanks for the gift, and goal number 6 on the board for the big full forward. And Warrandyte are going straight through to the grand final. There is effectively no doubt about that. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 23.5 minutes gone. 13 goals, 10.88. It's out to 28 points. Forest Hill 9.660.
That was really clever, that goal, because Dunn led out to the pocket and then doubled back into the square, kicked it into the right in the difficult area, used his body well, and he's been very well. He's kicked through this quarter, hasn't he?
He has, yeah.
He's kicked 6 now, and he's been. That's a great game from a key forward in a final.
They clear out of the middle once again, get it to forward 50, margin back to 30 points out at Trams. 14-12 plays 9-12. Go for it, Az.
Goal to Mulgrave, but Scoresby are hanging on just 53.75%. East Build 53.67%.
Thanks, so I think it is John O'Sullivan who's keeping us updated out at Mulgrave Reserve as Burkett marks 50 from defensive goal. Definitely been the best on the ground for the Zebras. Kicks into the middle of the ground over the head of a teammate there, picking up at the back of the pack. McGuire gave his handball off to Rowe. Rowe to 2-2, bustles through one, can't break the tackle there from there came the pressure. Rowe to the top of the goal square.
Well done.
And that is experience personified. Mark Cullen last into the contest, punches over the goal line and through for one behind. Forest Hill 9.761, Warrandyte 13.10.88. 24.5 minutes gone, final turn.
Well, Harris spotted Scorsus out wide, who takes, well, he almost got paid the mark, but he got dispossessed of it. So free kick against Holdsworth, finds it in the arms of Scorsus.
He's been good today too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Almost like sucking up the clock styles. The short passes on. Mark taken by Appleby. Seems to relish playing against Forest Hill this year. Swings around on the left boot, goes towards the Gouchy direction, who took the mark uncontested in the end. Still 2 kicks away from goal. The Warrandyte Football Club 27 points up.
He's looking for his mate and he's not there.
Kick goes inside, well, outside the 45 mark, and Evans takes it. Kicks it to the hot spot now towards a Dunn direction. It was knocked away from him. It was there for Richardson to take if he wanted it. Charging his way through was Whitty. He got held up and will have a bounce 40 metres out from the Warrandyte goals.
Blackburn, thanks to the local Burger Co. Blackburn still by 4 points Roval pushing hard in his last turn, about 16 minutes gone their final turn.
Hurler should be paid by Blackburn, picked up there by Pilcher. Thumps the ball up towards the wing position. Rowe, he was out-muscled in the end. Come flying over the top there was Mackenzie. Beautifully done there by Harris. The umpire says, give it to me. I've liked Harris's endeavour at attacking the football. He certainly always has his eye on the prize. There's no doubt about that. Higher to bounce it up now. Hand, we'll give that one to him. Magamez knocked it down, picked up there by that player in Ansaldi, who got felled upon afterwards. Evans takes it. Hoskins by himself inside 50 if he actually wants to go for the football, but
I reckon Harris just let Magamez know how many kicks he's had this afternoon.
Yeah. He didn't have to hold up too many fingers.
So Evans has kicked one goal this afternoon. It's going to take a fair old roost from there to get home, but he gets underneath it. It's going, pushed to the left-hand side, and it was only Hosking who saw it through for a minor score, but it's another point on the board to the Warrandyte Football Club, and aren't they enjoying this? 89 plays, 61, 27 minutes into the final term of the second semi-final in Division 4. Warrandyte are going through.
It's interesting, isn't it? It feels like a much larger margin than what it actually is.
Yeah, it does.
They feel like they've been completely dominant this quarter, and yet they're only still under 5 goals.
Looks like it's going to be Doncaster East and Bayswater to play in the first semi-final next week. Doncaster's kicked another goal, put it back out to a 6-goal lead in favour of the Sharks, which will play well, a percentage about a 5% last time we heard from Az.
If you can believe this, boys, the current scores will be 53.75%. East Burwood 53.74%.
Wow!
It is unbelievable. Scoresby hanging on.
Do we know how much time left in either game?
We're getting scores as we go. That's the last score we've got. We haven't got anything from the Mulgrave scores for probably 5 minutes. So these things are subject to change, but it is unbelievable.
What's not subject to change is that Warrandyte have broken their duck out here at Walker Park. Couldn't win 2 finals in 2014, and they've ticked the first box here at Walker Park and won their way through to the 2015 Division 4 Grand Final. Warrandyte 13-11-89, Forest Hill 9-7-61. They didn't have it all their own way, but certainly class showed in the end. Warrandyte getting up comfortably by 28 points. A fantastic game from both sides, but tell you what, there's a few bruised bodies in the Forest Hill side who won't like playing either of Coldstream or Kilsyth, the winners, 2 played in tomorrow's first semi.
Yeah, well, look, I think the one thing about the 2 sides that are playing tomorrow is that they Kilsyth have got height and Coldstream runs, so I think both those things will hurt Forest Hill a little bit. Forest Hill need to regroup. They've finished second for a reason, so they get the double chance. Now they've got to go back and forget about what's happened today and try and work out a way of probably hitting the scoreboard a little bit more often. You can't just have one player kick 6, another kick 2, and then your key forwards not become involved at all, basically.
Well, and that's the thing, you know, Fia Tutu went up forward late because Nolte went off, so he probably wouldn't have been there to kick the goals. Probably would have been Nolte, if anything, and it was unsustainable. But yeah, look, they've got work to do, and fortunately they have a chance to do it.
Looks like Templestowe are going to take on Mitcham next week. The Basin are going to have to do it the hard way. Templestowe at this stage, 12-14-86, leading the Basin 8-10-58. So we're going to get a replay of last year's fiery preliminary final in the second week of the final. So
2 goals in a row to Scoresby. Dyson, they've moved up. It's now 54.32%. Scoresby, Eastfield 53.74%. So Scoresby hanging on.
It's at 0.6% or something at the moment, separating. 1 point.
Yeah, about that.
So
still going to have to get a couple of goals, Eastfield.
Doing enough at the moment, Eastfield. A lot to do in the last couple of minutes. Can't be too much longer as Warrandyte jog off the ground and into the 2015 Grand Final. We'll get our LifeCare boundary riders to head into the room, sing the song, and then hopefully get some of the Grand Final players in season 2015. I'll tell you what, I reckon there's a lot of smiling faces out there. Just it's not just a smile of we won, it's a bit of a
oh, look, there's definitely relief there, but I think the other thing you'll find don't be surprised if Warrandyte come out and play very differently in the grand final. I think they played as if they knew they just had to win.
Yep.
And they were, they were a little bit reserved in some ways, and I think you'll find they'll come out and they'll try and blast whoever's there off the park, because it wasn't a great game. And yet they were still able to win, still kicked 13 goals, so still played some good football. But, I think some of their quick runners could really give us some exciting stuff on grand final day.
We can hear a bit of noise coming through from the Warrandyte change rooms. Just looking through at some of the other scores that are coming. Out at Quamby, Northring were 3-5-23, Baldwin 25-8, 158. We'll go into the week off with a massive score on the board. 22 minutes gone, Blackburn 15-10, 100, lead Roval 12-12, 84. So not the best form for the Hawks to go into their their elimination final next week. Just waiting for the boys to get it underway. Goal to Wanturna South, leading 21-21, 147 to Eastfield, 9-5-59. We'll get that score back to Az, and hopefully you can update us. And a final score from Mulgrave, 15-8, 98. They've defeated Scoresby 12-9, 81. So it all rests in the hands of Eastfield to see if they can kick a couple of goals to get right back into their contest. Here we go. We're going to try and get it. Just Mike doesn't want to play with us. We're just going to lose it there. So unfortunately, we won't get the Warrandyte song, alas.
Yes, we will. We'll get a bit more.
Every time. There you go. So Warrandyte worked their way into the 2015 Division 4 Grand Final with a 28-point win. Wayne Brash has joined us back up here in the
live ladder, Dyson.
Yeah, go for it, Az.
Live ladder, Scoresby 54.32%, Eastfield 53.64.
So Scoresby can't move now. Their game's finished. Can't be too much longer left in Eastfield's game. So any score you get, Az, feel free to interrupt us. We're more than happy to take it. Just looking through, Noble Park 129-point win over Lilydale. Blackburn out to an 18-point lead. And as we know, Mulgrave, their score's over. Their game's over. They won by 17 points. So that'll keep coming, and it'll update once we get the final score through from Wanturna South and Eastfield. It's going to come right down to the wire unless Eastfield can kick a couple of goals in the dying moments. Warrandyte 13-11-89, defeating Forest Hill 9-7-61. Brash, just too much class from Warrandyte and too many options up forward, I think, the difference.
Yeah, there was, and I just thought Warrandyte played the crunch moments just a little bit better in that second half when you needed goals done and Froud and, just came to the fore. But, I just thought the midfield, Scorsese, Lamaris, Tommy Norton, those three guys were exceptional right throughout the day. Tommy Norton especially, he kept them in it in that first half. That second quarter, when the heat was right on him, he went into the midfield and he basically took control of the midfield and started to, feed the ball out. I was a bit critical with Michael Tout's side at half-time, but they did come out and they started to play a lot more structured football. Interestingly, I went out at three-quarter time to have a listen, and they thought that the Forest Hill outfit had run out of petrol tickets and it was only a matter of time that they were going to run all over them. Didn't prove to be like that, but look, I think they'd be just happy to get the win and move into the grand final. I agree with Dave. They're going to play a different game in the grand final. They'll come out like
hammer and tong.
Yeah, hammer and tong with all guns blazing.
Final score from the range out at Croydon. The Blues comfortably in the end, 17-14, 116, defeating Mooroolbark in their final game of 2015. 5-9-39, so some comfortable wins to a few top sides today as I hopefully get a few more scores come through. No, nothing really.
I mean, if you said at the start of the day that Kane McGarmas would not get a kick and Carnelli would kick one goal but have really little or
didn't get
didn't get a goal.
No
influence
impact
no impact on the game. I mean, you'd say, well, Forest Hill have got to lose. And that basically was it. I thought the defensive end in that area was fantastic from Warrandyte. And while the boys, while Britton and McPherson tried really hard, the weight of numbers eventually got to them. And, you know, I thought McPherson's had a great game. He's had 6 kicked on him. You know, so when you look at it like that, and I thought the boy Wensley tried really hard on Froud, and Froud's kicked 3. He's kicked 3.
Yeah, 3 and a lot more opportunities.
So you look at it that way. It's really interesting. I thought they just hung in there for a while, but I looked at the scoreboard, and if I looked at that last quarter, I would have thought the Warrandyte were winning by 10 goals while they played the game. They just weren't able to really convert. But
a lot of Andy, just quickly, one of the things I noticed about Forest Hills, their disposal around the ground.
Pretty poor.
It was poor. Yeah. I mean, they couldn't hit a target. A lot of their blokes...
Another live ladder, boys. Sorry,
go for it,
to cut you off. At 115, hang on, I've mucked it up here. I'll get back to you in 2 seconds. I've put the wrong score.
He's feeling the pressure.
I mean, I thought Tutu was probably the prime example today. I know he kicked a couple of goals, but his disposal early on, he was just kicking the ball in hope. Yep. There was just no direction. He just... I just thought it was
we're back.
We'll come to you in a sec, as we're waiting on your bated breath, but we'll cross down boundary side to Lachlan Munro, thanks to LifeCare.
Yes, I'm here with Michael Tout, the Victorious coach. Well, congratulations on the win. They definitely threw everything at you today.
Yeah, mate, they did. We knew they were going to come out pretty hard, and but we believed, you know, we're probably a bit fitter, and I reckon we got a better side, and if we just stick to everything we wanted to do, we'd come over the top in the end.
Yeah, what was the major part that you think helped you guys to this victory?
I think it's just our work rate, mate. The boys are pretty tight. They communicate pretty well. I think that's what it really was. In finals, it all comes down to desperation, mate, and who wants to get there the most, and who's got the ball in the head, and who can get over the line, and has got the will in their gut to keep pushing and pushing when things are a bit tough.
Yeah, it really felt like a finals atmosphere today. Do you feel like the boys really stepped up and took on that finals pressure?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I thought they were fantastic today. You know, Forest Hill are a great side, and we got some ripping blokes going around, and they did stand up when we needed. The beauty of our side is when blokes are a bit down, we've got other blokes who step up and help get us over the line.
And that was the beauty of it today, Michael. You had those couple of your gun players like not have the best games, but there were so many other contributors right across the park. Everybody in the rooms there, everyone's happy with the victory, but everyone knows that the job's not even close to done yet, and it's good to see everyone switched on there in the rooms.
Yeah, mate. Look, you know, it's the first grand final they've been in since 2006, so you know we've got to let them enjoy it a little bit. But you know, as of now, the boys will just get over it. There'll be no going out getting pissed or anything tonight. They'll just all sit back and get themselves right, because it's pretty exciting for the club. And you know, there's a lot of loyal people. We've got very good support, which you don't realise yourself as a coach, and when you've been around the club a bit. But when blokes from opposition come and play with us, and then they say the support's just unbelievable. So, and it's a little country town pretty much. So there's going to be a bit of a hype around there. And we just got to keep them on the ground, and yeah, hopefully we get the job done for the town. It's going to be. I don't know what it's going to be like if we do win it, because the town will go into shutdown for a while, I think.
And we love seeing the red, and I know Brett Davidson is very much willing, wanting to have a question with you now.
G'day, Davo. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, Towdy. How are you, mate?
Good, buddy.
Look, I thought, we talk about the boys that have kicked the score for you, but I thought today your defensive efforts on Magamez and Carnelli were absolutely outstanding. And while Nolte stood up and kicked some goals, I think those two boys that played out and defensively, they really gave you a great springboard today.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Look, we work pretty hard, as you know, Dave, as a coach. You've got to do your homework, and if you don't do your homework, you're going to get exploited. And I mean, Magamez hasn't had great games against us, but we always put him up on the ball because we know he can turn a game very quickly. And but we also know, we've got a good matchup for him, and I don't think he's been beaten on him yet. But yeah, you're right, mate. And Carnelli's a good player, and yeah, we had a couple of blokes on him, but we got the job done, mate.
Just before we go on, sorry to cut you off, Towdy. Division 2 relegation update, Scoresby holding on by 0.5%. So it's going to come right down to the wire. Back to the game at hand, obviously. It wasn't a four-quarter performance. Is there anything that you weren't overly impressed with? I mean, there were times where probably a few key mistakes led them back into the game and probably gave them a bit of false hope getting back to that sort of 18, 20-point margin.
Yeah, it was, mate. We get to the 20-point margin and 20, 24 points, and we really try and put our foot down there, but bloody hell, we just keep letting them back in with just silly little mistakes and a bit of overuse of the footy, mate. And you do that one too many handballs, it's going to cause the odd turnover, and but in the end, mate, as I said, we've got the job done. We're in now. We just worry about it and who we find out until we find out who we play.
Just again, Towdy, with regards to the group, no injuries from the group today by the look of it, which is a good sign for you?
Not at the moment. I think JD's got a bit of a twing in his hammy, so we just took him off. But, yeah, look, I don't think so at the moment. They don't tell me. They go to everyone else bar me. I don't know why that is, Dave.
Because they don't want to be dropped.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
But yeah, look, I thought we thought that your midfield, especially after half time, the lowering of the eyes out of the midfield was a crucial part as well, because suddenly your forwards who were making good space were able to get those easy 15-metre hit-ups, and that breaks the side apart. So those boys through the midfield really did a good job in that area. Was that something you had a word to them about?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. We do actually practice that, but that comes down to a bit of protection on our midfielders, who are carrying the footy. Early on in the game, they weren't doing it. They were just not kick chasing, but they weren't doing what we wanted them to. And then once they started putting blocks on, so our on-ballers could actually hit up a short lead, yeah, that's something we do work on at training, mate.
Now, Michael, Andy Paolacci here. Congratulations today. Just felt a couple of times today your defence sort of just got caught napping a bit, and Forrester were able to get out the back. Is that something you'll be keen to address moving into the ultimate dance?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's like when you put a press on, if it gets through it, you're in a bit of strife. But look, it's going to happen in games. Yep. We know that. But I reckon the way we play normally with our on-ballers and their intensity, if that's up, it doesn't get through too often.
Yeah, and also the Airport West boys, or the Westies, or whatever you want to call them, they tell you what, they really look out for each other on the ball. I saw Scorsis to Lamaris, Gauchi, they all sort of passed to each other. But I thought Gauchi probably, for me, was the pick. His aerial ability and, his agility, his disposal. He had a great game today.
No, they do, mate. They talk in another language, so no one else can run for the ball, so that's how they know who it is. He's great. He's been away for 3 weeks. We were a bit concerned. That's why he spent a bit more time on the bench, because he was, he's been overseas holidaying, the lazy little anyway. But he's back now, and that's a good blowout for him. But yeah, he's definitely exciting.
Boys, Towdy's parched. He's got a beer in his hand. We're going to let him go and soak up this fantastic victory. Magnificent performance by the Warrandyte Football Club today. You've broken a hoodoo. It was a scary place to come to, but all those memories are washed away now, and all the best in a fortnight's time when we come and see you boys play in the grand final.
No worries, thanks, Ben. And Dave, it's your shout too, mate, so get down and buy me a beer.
No worries, mate.
Thank you to Michael Tout.
Thanks very much to Michael Tout, Lockie, Ben and Esmond doing beautiful things. I've just seen East Burwood have kicked a goal, so potentially that goal could have put East Burwood back in a ninth. Just give me 1 second. I'll just get this out.
We're getting it through, Dyson.
Here we go.
We believe East Burwood has jumped off the bottom. Just waiting to confirm. I'm just putting in the score.
Unreal.
As we speak.
We'll go to Esmond in just a moment. We might hold on just so we can almost give confirmation.
I'm just putting the score in, Dyson.
Division 3 qualifying final. Templestowe 21-19. 145 have defeated the Basin 12-14, 86, and will take on Mitcham in the second semi-final next week. The other game that's going on tomorrow will be Upper Ferntree Gully taking on Ringwood in the elimination final to see who will play the Basin. And out here tomorrow afternoon, it will be Kilsyth taking on Coldstream. Our game day will be for EFL Sunday, all thanks to the Pancake Parlour, will be Upper Ferntree Gully and Ringwood. While we're waiting for it, go for it, Az.
We've got it.
Is this final?
Currently. Yeah, current? As we speak, we haven't got confirmed that it's final score, but at the moment, it's East Burwood 54.61%, Scoresby 54.32%.
0.29 the difference. Wow. We won't keep Esmond waiting too much longer. We'll cross down to Esmond thanks to LifeCare.
Thanks a lot for that. I've just got a couple of boys this afternoon. First of all, Luke Dunn, 6 goals, fantastic personal effort, but more importantly for the team, great effort by them, and we've got a grand final berth. What's the initial feelings for that, Luke?
Well, thanks for having me, guys. To be honest, the feeling is relief at the moment. We didn't play our best footy early on, but we had a good chat at half time, and we were able to pick it up late on and had a good run in that fourth quarter. And we did speak about last year. So to be honest, the feeling at the moment is relief, and just a good feeling. We've got the week off now, and we're able to finish off pretty well.
Fantastic. Okay, I'll just throw that up with the boys in the commentary box now.
Dunny, we had you on the huddle a couple of weeks ago, and it's Dyson Baker up here. You pretty much gave us every single cliche of the old 1 week at a time, and we're getting there. And
counting chickens, all that sort of stuff.
do you slowly start to open the can up a little bit and let the lid off?
Oh, no.
You're going to tell me the job's still to be done, aren't you?
Absolutely, mate. The lid's still on, well and truly on. As I said before I had my pancakes, we can't count our chickens, all that sort of stuff. But just a good feeling. We've already spoken about recovery, all that sort of stuff, and we'll be here next week anyway to support the under-19s, and we'll probably maybe keep a keen eye on some of the other games as well. But yeah, mate, I'll keep rolling the cliches for you boys.
Dunny, it's Brett Davidson here, mate. Look, fantastic performance today. I thought your forward line worked really well in the fact that you're able to work as a unit. It wasn't just up to Frowdy or yourself or or Evo. It was the whole team was able to make some good space. Darcy Sketcher actually reminded me of the fact that he probably would have kept you goalless, but look, fantastic effort. You find that it's really easy to work with so many blokes able to give you creative options?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first off, Darcy Sketcher probably would have kicked 20 on him today. He's a bit slow at the moment. No, it was really good today. We tried to make a real effort to keep the space, with myself, Channy, Frowdy, and that way even some of the little fellas could come in like Artie Lamaris. He was able to jag a couple, and Scores and Chad Gouchy. So we tried to keep as much space as possible, and the boys were able to hit us up today for the first time, I reckon, all year, but it was good.
And also, I suppose one of the things is that, you've kicked 6, but how tough is it playing on Scotty McPherson? Because he's a pretty fair defender, isn't he?
Oh, he's a fantastic defender. I told him after the game, I hope I don't have to see you in 2 weeks. No, it's always a real battle against him. I'd probably rate him as the best defender, definitely. One-on-ones, he's definitely outbodies me. Was able to outmark me a few times, so no, it's always good to have a battle with him, and I was glad I was able to kick a couple on him, which was nice, but yeah, I hope I don't have to see him again.
Now, look, Andy Paolacci here, congratulations. I just felt your game, you were sort of in second gear, I think, personally I'm talking here. You just kicked one every quarter for the first 3 quarters. It really sparked alive in that last quarter. What do you put that down to?
Oh, look, to be honest, I thought Macca was. I thought he played real well on me, and the pressure that the midfielders put on our midfielders, it kind of it stopped them hitting me up on the lead. The ball was probably on my head a little bit, and but no, look, I was just able to get away from him, which was lucky in the last, and I was able to kick straight. Thank goodness.
Thanks very much to Luke Dunn for joining us. Fantastic effort from you.
Dyson, we've got final.
Hang on, just to give me 1 sec, I'll just wrap up our guest and I'll let him be on his way. Thanks to LifeCare Croydon. Thanks for joining us, Luke.
Thanks, Dyson.
Thanks, Esmond, for LifeCare. Just bear with us 1 sec. We'll go to Aaron Kirkby-Roady, who will give us, hopefully, the final Division 2 ladder for season 2015.
It's confirmed. East Build will stay in Division 2.
No.
There was a late goal to One
Not
Turner
happy
South.
about that.
A late goal to One Turner South, and East Build have kicked a point. So it's East Build, 54.49%. Scoresby, 54.32%.
What's that?
0.17%. 0.17% over the course of 18 games.
Unbelievably, at one point this afternoon, it was
0.01%
difference between the two sides.
And the top of at the top, we know that Doncaster East, Bayswater, Waverley. That's the way it's finished.
Yeah, it has currently. Waverley Blues just couldn't keep
blown
it.
away in the second half.
Yeah, it was just 5% difference still in the end. It got close throughout the day, but they seemed to be able to hold them off enough there.
Okay, so where we're at the moment, just to keep everyone posted on this afternoon's proceedings, because there's been a fair bit going on. Norwood have defeated Knox. That's neither here nor there. Doncaster 18-13, 121 have defeated Waverley 12-13, 85. Kyle Martins had 51 touches, 11 marks and 5 goals in Noble Park's 100-point win over Lilydale. Templestowe's into the second semi-final against the Basin, against Mitcham. Templestowe 21-19, 145, defeating the Basin 12-14, 86. Doncaster East got up over Bayswater by 66 points. They'll play in the first semi-final out at Baronia next week. And I think that's pretty much all up to date.
Yep.
Dyson,
Esmond will cross down to you, boundary side, thanks to LifeCare.
Yeah, just very quickly, I've got Tom Norton from the Bloods. Obviously, Tom, great win for the team and getting a grand final berth. And what's the initial sort of reaction when you heard that final siren this afternoon?
It was not, well, it was good. It was a joyful occasion. I think the boys put a lot of hard work and effort in, and not just the boys, all the other people that help out around the club, and we're all in the rooms before the game. Towdy sort of brought all the supporters in, and it's more than just to make us realise it's more than just the players that are out there. Everyone's riding on our backs, and it was good. It was probably a bit of a relief more than anything else, but we had a good win. We had a good last quarter, and we'll take some momentum into the grand final now, which is really good. So.
Great. Just before I just throw it to the commentary box, just one quick question with Mark Cullen. What sort of impact, a very experienced player, what sort of impact has he made on the team this year?
Yeah, Chubb, Chubb's came to the club this year from Sylvan, and playing against him for a couple of years, we knew how good a player he was, but we probably, I certainly didn't realise what a terrific leader he was. He's phenomenal, the way he looks after himself and leads from, by example, the way he plays, but also just the way he interacts with the boys, gets around the guys. He's had so much experience, so much finals experience. We love him. I can't speak highly enough of him. He's a great guy to have around, and just so ultra dependable. It's great having him there. He's got your back. He performs at a high level every week.
Tom, just before we let you go, we've got to start wrapping up here, but a lot of the kids are starting to really make waves in this side, which is really important for the future. You've got a lot of young kids that are coming through, plus the Airport West boys. I thought Chad Gauchi turned it over early, but I thought he was scintillating every time he got the footy. There's a real mix of personalities and also talents in this side.
Yeah, there is. We had, unfortunately, Junior's injured at the moment, but I mean, I reckon he's probably our best player. So there's 3 under 19 guys, in our top 10 or 12 players, which is terrific. We've got, obviously we've thrown a bit more experience in there, which is what we needed. We identified what we needed, and we went out and recruited for that. But yeah, you're right about Chad. The Airport West boys have been terrific. They've slotted in, like they've been at the club for 10 years, let alone 10 minutes, and yeah, Chad's just that X factor. He's been away for a couple of weeks. He's been sunning himself in Italy, but he came straight back in. Yeah, it was a bit of a slow start. It's not surprising, but he's a footballer, out and out footballer, and he does those mercurial things. It's something that you can't train for. He has those skills. So.
Thanks very much for joining us, Tom. Enjoy the week off, and we'll see you out here in a couple of weeks' time.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thanks to Tom Norton from the Warrandyte Football Club. About to wrap up here. We'll, with everything that's gone on, he's sort of been fell by the wayside a little bit, but half an hour after the game, we'll finally get to Grant Campbell with the Tuesday match stats.
Oh, I'm sure heaps of people are eagerly anticipating.
Are you sure you didn't fall asleep out there?
Oh, I nearly did. BWS woke me up a few minutes ago.
And then you started talking over the top of everyone else.
Yeah, I blame BWS for that. I had my mic on about 15 minutes ago, ready to do the stats, and I was just waiting, and I forgot it was on. Forest Hill won the hit-outs 78-55. They won the clearances 44-42. Warrandyte had 8 more kicks for the game, with 166-158. Forest Hill having 80 handballs to 77. Virtually nothing in the contested and uncontested possessions. Inside 50s and marks inside 50s were the 2 big stats. Warrandyte had 60-37 inside 50s. They took 17 marks inside 50-7. And quite extraordinary stat was there was 19 out of the 22 goals today were from set shots. For Warrandyte, they kicked 12-7 from set shots, just 1 goal 4 from general play. So certainly the delivery inside 50 and the marks inside 50, I thought, was the key to the win today for Warrandyte.
Thanks very much to Grant Campbell. We'll start wrapping up, and we will quickly give our votes because we're running well behind with everything else that's been going on so far this afternoon. We'll take votes from Andy, Brett, we'll get Ben back on a headset and myself, and we'll see if we can pick a winner for the Concave Player of the Day finds themselves going home with a $150 concave voucher. And we'll start with you, Andy, your 3, 2 and 1 from this afternoon's game.
Yeah, thought Gouchy got the one for me. A slow start, but just really impressed with his skills. His disposal's fantastic and great agility. 2 votes, Lewis Oliver. Did the job down back. Just sturdy in defence. Took defence marked as well as, obviously spoiling and thought he was pivotal in the victory. But I gave Ash Noldy my 3. I didn't think there was any Warrandyte player that really stood out enough for me to warrant a best on ground performance. And Ash Noldy, just not only the goals, just the way he went about it was absolutely sublime, and thought he was fantastic. 3 votes for me.
We'll go to you. We'll go to Brett. Davo?
I gave my 3rd vote to Tommy Norton. I thought his inside work was sensational. His tackling was great. His captaincy was excellent. I thought he calmed them down when they needed to be. I gave 2 to Ash Nolte because you kick 6 or 7 goals out of a losing score's a great effort. But I gave my best on ground to Lewis Oliver. When you go to some of the key players in an opposition team in a final and you keep them basically kickless, I think you've done a fairly good job for your side, and I've given him 3 votes.
Ben?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it's a game that we had today, which was a stand which I thought was going to be a little bit higher today, and I don't know if that's a harsh call, but it was a tough game of football, and it was well played out in the end by Warrandyte. Forest Hill gave them probably a few more headaches than what they would have anticipated at the start of the day, and hats off to the Zebras for still being able to be right in the game at the end. I thought there were a number of players that put their hand up for fantastic games today. I'll give 1 vote to Fia Tutu. I thought he was absolutely super for the Forest Hill Football Club, for a big man that was given the task of covering as much ground as what he did today. I thought, although at different times there were some sloppy possessions, he had enough of them and did enough with the football that deserved for him to get 1 vote. I gave 2 votes to Oliver. I thought he was fantastic right throughout the afternoon. A 4-quarter performer, even perhaps Trojan-like today, Dyson Baker as well. So he had a fantastic game. I apologise to Ash Nolte. I couldn't get him into the votes. I know kicking 6 goals is a monstrous effort, and also kicking 6 goals for the Warrandyte Football Club, Luke Dunn. It's amazing I haven't been able to fit both players in for votes today, but I give 3 votes on the ground too, and it might be a little bit confusing for people, but Tommy Appleby today I thought was absolutely fantastic, and he was certainly a 4-quarter performer, and I tell you what, he puts his head over the football, he judges the play well, and he won a lot of it as well. There's certainly a lot of apologies as well. Pilcher was good, Cicluna was good. Look, there was a number of players out there. I thought Big Hand did his job in the ruck as well when he was asked to. Ash Froud presented up forward. Great tough game of finals football, but I tell you what, Warrandyte, once they hit the big dance, they'll want to have their skills a little bit more in check.
Certainly will. My 3, 2 and 1, all thanks to Concave. My 1 vote I gave to Tom Burkett. I thought he was fantastic. A 4-quarter performance, probably best on ground outside Ash Nolte for Forest Hill. I gave 2 votes to Chad Gouchy. Turned it over a couple of times, particularly early on, but it just sparked Warrandyte into a couple of goals during the game. And I gave 3 votes to Hamish Hosking. I thought the ruck combination of him and David Hand, I thought were phenomenal, and really put the game beyond doubt, given the fact that Brett Shoulders had to find any possible solution to try and break that ruck duel at all. I don't think it's going to matter, because I think Oliver is our concave player of the day with 7 votes ahead of Ash Nolte with 5 and Appleby with 3. So a nice spread across both sides, and also plenty of players from both teams. So our concave player of the day is Lewis Oliver. He'll go home with $150 I was going to say Pancake Parlour voucher, concave voucher, Concave Game Evolved. Visit concave.com.au. Concave, the official boots of the Geelong Cats. More importantly, the Pancake Parlour player of the day, Ben Warren-Smith.
Yeah, they're not going to do much good against the Saints tonight, those concave boots against St Kilda for Geelong.
Yeah, I think they might.
Move on.
Let's have a look at the Trojan Workhorse player of the day as well, which gets $150 worth of tools. There's no kit this year, but everybody has a toolbox anyway, so you can slap them in, throw out the old ones.
Box of
and
tools.
There's no doubt there's a few contenders, a few 4-quarter performers. Any nominations coming from you, Brett Davidson, this afternoon?
I suppose for the workhorse, I would have given it to Jacob Daly. I thought his work rate around the ground, hard work, tackling.
His tackling was brilliant.
Was really good, especially early on. You know, he set the scene, so I'd give it to him.
Jacob Daly, the winner of the Trojan Workhorse this afternoon. Of course, we have two other awards that we give away. The Pancake Parlour Goal of the Day, Play of the Day, I should say, and the Westfield Knox Play of the Day. And we're giving the Westfield Knox Play of the Day.
Sorry, just confirmation from Noel McPhee. The stats bench, if you read in the Eastern Footballer, East Burwood's last goal did it. Otherwise, they would have been 10th. So after 18 rounds, it came down to that last goal for the Division 2 relegation.
Well, we're giving the Goal of the Day, who wins a $25 Westfield Knox voucher. I'll get it right eventually. The season's only got 4 weeks left, I promise, Dyson. That is going to go to Fia Tutu for that standing start goal early in that final term, which was a spark that the side needed to get them over the line, although they couldn't pile them on after it. But a fantastic mark by Luke Dunn, also in that final term, is the winner of the Pancake Parlour Play of the Day, a magnificent slips catch. So he'll get 25 smackers to go down there and buy a short stack and a coffee or a beverage.
The other week. He's just going to go back there again. He's becoming a regular appearance.
Well,
needs a loyalty card.
No doubt he'll see you down there, because that's where all the other vouchers disappear to.
Anyway, it's currently 5:05, so we've gone well over time. But it has been one of those days across the Eastern Football League. We say it time after time after time, but hasn't it delivered today? The state of play is that Warrandyte in the seniors and reserves will go through to the grand final. In the under-19s, it'll be Ferntree Gully. And then in the Division 3 game today, it was Templestowe comfortably. They'll play Mitcham next week. The Basin to play the winner of our radio game tomorrow out at Glen Waverley at Central Reserve between Upper Ferntree Gully and Ringwood. It should be an absolute cracking game. We'll start with our boundary riders as we start to say goodbye. Esmond, Aponso, sharp work from you as always.
Thanks a lot for that, and congratulations to Warrandyte getting the grand final.
And Lachie Munro.
Thank you. I'll keep it short. Thanks for having me here.
Short and sweet. That's the way we like it, particularly at 5:05. Grant Campbell, sharp as always from you.
Yeah, new stat I'll start recording is coach intercept marks. Michael Tout won that 1-0 today.
I thought he was going to say time, waiting for his stats to be read out.
Well, I was going to mention you gave best on ground to Hosking when Warrandyte have lost the hit-outs by 23, so I think that was a real claim on your behalf.
It's up there with Artie Hall's Ash Froud for one touch about 5 years ago.
The stress that went through his head when he tried to do it. We move on, though. Fantastic work from Brash. He'll be
good on you,
back
Brash.
week after week after week.
He's on tomorrow morning.
At the moment. He'll be back on tomorrow morning. We look forward to hearing him on Crocs Play Centre's EFL Sunday. Andy Paolacci in special comments. Great work from you.
Thanks, Dyson. What an unparalleled day of Eastern Football League football.
Certainly exactly right. Noel from StatsBench is just saying he almost broke Twitter with the stats that were coming through from him. Brett Davidson, one man who almost broke special comments, that he did it that well straight off a year's hiatus, is back once again behind the chair.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it. I look forward to 2 weeks' time when we see Warrandyte here in the grand final.
Looking forward to having you back on board next Saturday afternoon out at Bayswater for the big Division 1 clash as well, mate.
I will be there. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Ben Warren-Smith, riding shotgun with me all afternoon. Good to be calling back with you once again.
Best pre-match of the year, boys. Congratulations on that. A fantastic all-team performance by the media team today. But we only come out here to watch good football, and that's what the Warrandyte Football Club have done all season. Congratulations to them. They go right through to the grand final. And I tell you what a pleasure it's been sitting next to the parched one right next to me all afternoon, Darren McKenzie. It's great to have him back. And, of course, Lethal always on the camera doing a fantastic job.
We'll start to wrap up. A couple of thank yous also with the updates that we've received all day. Josh Dorr, who was out at Zebby's Reserve, giving us updates. Also, Dave Whalen, I think, was testing you through with some update scores. Everyone who was out at Doncaster keeping us up to date with that game.
How good was Az?
Az was fantastic back in the studio, not quite there yet. John O'Sullivan out at the Mulgrave Scoresby game, giving us updates from that game. I think it was Mitch. I've gone to thank him and I've completely forgotten his name.
We got the scores through and we thank you.
Mitch Clark on Twitter for keeping us posted on the Wantirna South East Burwood game. So thanks to you. It was fantastic that we could bring such a dramatic end to the Division 2 season. We look forward to that continuing right through the final series. We'll head back to Aaron Keepe-Rota in the studio, who has done a fantastic job working on the predictor all day. Great work from you, and has your heart stopped pumping yet, or are you still a bit flustered after today's action?
Just a little bit flustered. I'm trying to make sure I get all the scores in and try and get a couple of live ladders as well through before the end of the day. But hoping to have Rick Irwin on from the Templestowe Football Club on the BGC.
Oh, look at him working.
Look out.
Working the phones is Aaron Keepe-Rota.
I tell you what, Davis must have, he took some good photos this afternoon.
He certainly did.
If they don't make the record next week, mate, I don't know.
I hope so.
The mic too. Beautiful.
I hope they do, and I hope the people that were here today enjoy them when they go up on the Facebook page in a few days' time.
So we'll make sure we get them up ASAP, because I reckon there'll be a few Warrandyte players wanting to make a couple a new profile picture on what has been an incredible day. Round 18 in Division 1 and 2. Finals week 1 in Division 3 and 4. Make sure you stay tuned for the BGC Bayswater post-match show with Aaron Keepe-Rota, because it has been one of those days across the Eastern Football League. Thanks for joining us here on Pancake Parlour EFL Game Day.
Go the East.
Good news, boys.